Welcome back to the IMNerd podcast. I am your DEI hire. I say that because I am joined by two champions today, the ever-present champion, Frazier Smith, and our newly crowned Rivals of Aether 2 champion, Big Dick Nick Stango.
That's great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. We are so fucking back. I want to give a huge congratulations to house member, to friend, to cousin of Kenny, to my boy, my original partner. You can
claim him as a cousin if you want.
I mean, honestly, he is a cousin to me too, because I've known him since he was literally a little boy. But I am so proud.
We lived together for so long. He's like cousin brother.
Yeah.
So for you, he's friend cousin.
Yeah, definitely friend cousin. But congrats to Nick Stango on winning the biggest ever Rivals of Aether 2 tournament, especially because like it has been a long time coming. I watched your interview after you won this past weekend. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, Stango is one of the best fighting game players in the world. And this has been cemented, especially in the last 2 weeks. A lot of people don't know this. Some people do, some people don't. For people who don't know, Stango started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! During the pandemic. He was not a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player at all. So, like, he is the newest member in our group of, like, Gary, me, Kenny, Cairo, you know, Sushan, or Televisual, a True Hero. You guys know all those names. We've all been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Since we were children. Stango started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! During the pandemic, but before he was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! He used to be a fighting game player, and has been a fighting game player this whole time, has a storied career in, like, Melee, and, what's it called? The Project M? PM.
Yeah, PM, Melee, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl.
Yes.
He was on all of them games.
Played all the platform fighters, has done well in pretty much every single one he's played, has won in like Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl before and just done really well in that game as well. And now he won his first major, which I didn't even know that this was your first major win. But how does it feel being a fucking champion? First place, the biggest tournament ever for the game that you play.
Yeah, I mean, thanks again. It's always feels great to feel the love. I mean, as far as my very first like major win, throughout my like entire platform fighting career, especially like around the time of PM is like when I really became like the super high level talent that I am.
Yeah.
In Melee, like I peaked lifetime 35 on the top 100 rankings, which like pretty much only like 0.5% of the player base will ever do.
Not only that, just real quick, you peaked at top 35, and that's around when you stopped playing Melee and moved on to playing just like more other platform fighters. Yep. I just don't want people to get it twisted. Rivals of Aether is very hard. The people you got to beat, like Keikasol is, you know, considered overall like one of the best Rivals of Aether players, period. Spargo is one of the best Smash players, period.
Yeah.
Like Spargo is that fucking guy. You're not playing against randoms. My point is, when you were Mr. 35, that was in 2018. Like that was almost 10 years ago now. My point is, don't get it twisted because you're not playing Melee. If somebody might try to say like, oh, he couldn't do this in Melee. If you were just grinding Melee for the last 7 years, I think you would have did it in Melee.
Yeah,
Rivals of Aether has a lot of competition. It's a new game. People are figuring it out. You have a lot of skill. I also just real quick, I just want to say, because I want to hit the haters real fast, because I saw people hating because they were like,
really?
Oh, he's people were like, he's good.
To talk about the haters.
They were like, he's good, but he only is winning. He's only winning because of Olympia. Olympia carries, blah, 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 right? I just want to make something real clear, real fucking quick. There was another Olympia in top 8. Shout out to him. He's really fucking good. Sandfall or Sandstorm. Yeah. Sandfall's the expedition.
The greatest Brawlhalla player of all time.
He is legit. He's super good. He played Olympia. Spargo cracked his fucking ass. He was playing Olympia. Yeah. He was in top 8. He got his ass cracked. But Mr. 35, a.k.a. Mr. Number 1, Big Dick Nick Stango, Spargo didn't know what to do.
He literally
didn't. He didn't know what to fucking do.
Not only that, there's other Olympias that are just in the tournament outside of the top 8. A lot of people were playing Olympia and trying the character out, and they don't have nearly close to the results that Stango has. Stango got second at EVO, which is the most prestigious fighting game tournament in the world. And then
he's the only person that took a game off Plup.
Yes. And then
Club
the
was
very next
undefeated
week,
until Stango came around.
the very next week, he wins the biggest Rivals of 832 tournament with the same character, beating Cake Assault, who is arguably the best character who's ever played Rivals 2 so far, although that regime is coming to an end now, as we see. But Cake Assault lost now 2 sets to Stango. He was like 10-0 versus you, and now you've beaten him 2 weekends in a row. So it's now reversing. It's kind of your storyline reminds me so much of Tweak. Like, you remind me of Tweak a lot because
True.
you basically had this MK Leo-like figure in Cake Assault. Now, not as dominant, not as long as MK Leo. Leo did that shit for years. But you have this MK Leo-like figure. Cake Assault was winning literally everything. Like, everything that he went to, he basically won. Everything he attended, he basically won. And then you were consistently getting up there, topping or getting second to him or getting really far.
Yeah, the only people that ever stopped Cake from winning a tournament was Marlon or Plup.
Yep, which...
Those are the only 2 people that have ever stopped from winning.
Yeah, well, now...
Motherfucking Stango!
Yeah. So,
I mean, the whole journey of everything, like I said, I peaked at top 35, and as far as Melee goes, I quit Melee in 2019, and like I said, only 0.5 of the player base now and forever in the future will ever achieve that, because Melee's field of competition is so high level.
Yeah, it is.
And all the other platform fighters that I've gone into, even though the number output of people attending and stuff like that is smaller, the field is actually a lot more condensed, especially at the top level of these games. When I started playing into PM, playing all with the New York, New Jersey, tri-state guys, and then playing against the West Coast guys when they would come out to tournaments and stuff like that, I ended up being peak 4th in the world. And I had a rival in that game too. His name was the Doctor. He was a Mario player in Project M. And
I remember
he was like my kryptonite in that game. I actually was close to winning my first major in Project M. I got second at Blacklisted 7, I believe is the number it was. And he 6-0'd me in grands. He came back from losers and he 6-0'd me in grands. And through that journey, NASB happened. And, I'm kind of at the point where I'm looking into the future of what I'm doing with platform fighters. I'm streaming a lot more. I'm trying to get in relationships with organizations for potential sponsorships and stuff like that.
Yes,
and the main thing that I kind of kept running into where I was like, well, if this isn't because this year, as far as Rivals goes, this is the most I've traveled at any point ever in platform fighters for me. This whole year, I've gone to more majors than I probably have ever gone in a full fiscal year at any time I've ever been playing any of these games. So I've really been trying to do it as a full timer to make it happen. And, while the year was kind of winding down, I was like, oh, well, I don't really know if there's much in the field right now. So I'm kind of thinking when I'm going to kind of not hang it up, but not going to travel to the same degree. Because what I always felt, especially for my time PM onwards, because I pretty much became a top 5 threat in every platform fighter I played from PM onwards. I always felt that I was the best player in the room that never got a big win. I was always regarded by my peers in such in a high way, but I never got that full solidified win and be he was the best player in the room in the game that day. So when it came to winning Supernova for Rivals 2, the largest Rivals tournament period, including it was definitely very surreal. I definitely got a little emotional, on stage and stuff like that. But after kind of wind down, 10 minutes afterwards, I was just it felt entirely normal because I knew it was always possible. I knew I was that good to win a tournament. So, when I look
people you've played before, Cake Assault, you train with him, you play with him. I'm sure you've beaten him in friendlies. You know what I mean? Playing him isn't new. It's just doing it in tournament.
Yeah, no, we literally play each other in every single tournament. We warm each other up because we kind of bring the best out of each other. I think
that's good.
It's kind of it's a little bit of it's a kind of a Cody Zane or a Frazier and Sean McCabe kind of vibe. Where we're always keeping each other accountable and keeping us neck and neck and pushing us higher and higher in terms of our skill level and our thinking.
Shout out to him too. Just shout out to Cake because there's a lot of people who don't want to do that.
I was about
there's
to say,
a lot of players throughout history where if somebody's on their ass, if they're catching up, they're not playing with you. They're not your friend anymore. They're not training with you. Like they're going to try to hide from you, not play with you. They don't want you to catch up to them. So shout out to him for like still being a homie and like you guys playing together, training and getting better and like blah, blah, blah.
Leo and Tweak, they did not used to play friendlies ever. And they were very clearly number 1, number 2 in the world. And everyone remembers the infamous 2019 Smash Ultimate Evo, the biggest Smash tournament of all time. It is still the biggest Smash tournament of all time. That grand finals was Tweak versus Leo, and I believe Tweak was in winner's side. And that honestly just set the trajectory of the entire history of, I feel like, what Ultimate ends up becoming, where like Leo establishes dominance at Evo, comes back from losers, beats Tweak, and like literally the first set where it was almost over, it's like, I don't know, last game or whatever, and basically last hit for Leo, he comes back and like wins the whole thing, was incredible. But then it comes out in Tweak Talks podcast, which I listen to religiously every week. He mentioned that like those two never used to play outside of tournament because they had that kind of thing where they noted how close the skill level was between those two. They didn't want to sharpen the other one too much. So they kept like not, and like Leo obviously being in the driver's seat in that whole situation, right? Because he's the one winning all the tournaments and Tweak's coming second a lot. So he's like, Leo's like, is it my best interest to not play friendlies with you so you figure out Joker faster and you figure out my Lucina faster or whatever it is. But that's so interesting because you're saying that you do play with the guy who's number 1 and he's not afraid to like play friendlies with you. And you are, obviously you guys are learning from each other when you do that. Like there's a reason why you and him keep getting so far in tournament. And Evo, he was 3rd place as well, right? Like I think he got 3rd at Evo.
He got, let me think. So I played Marlon. And then, he got 3rd because I played him and then I played Plup and Grand.
Because he was in winners finals again, and he lost in winners finals to Plup. Then he had to play you, and then you go to grand finals. And then this tournament, same exact thing. He's in winners finals. He loses in winners finals to you, and then he doesn't get to come back. Then he doesn't get to come back because Spargo is. That guy is a whole different level. I'm so scared because I consider him to be a bot. He's going to continuously get better, and it is scary to see it happening in another game.
So I want to talk about. I mean, I'm not right now. We can keep jumping around, but just mention to Spargo how good he is, etc. I just want to talk about a little bit about y'all said in grand finals, because the first 2 games you beat the shit out of them. Like you beat the shit out of them game 1 and 2.
I loved it, bro.
And then,
I loved it, man.
And then, game 3 though, all of a sudden Spargo like figured it out, like he was playing again, and then like he fucked you up a couple times game 3, and like shit got scary. And then game 4, it started off with Spargo, if I remember, having the momentum again and just kind of like giving it to you. And then you fucking turned it around. You went for some fucking crazy. The end of game 4, you did some crazy offstage
so, like,
Gen 3s,
I hit him
crazy combo, like custom combo, crazy shit. Yeah,
I hit him with the crystal pop. I knocked him off stage while he was in the crystal, and I was trying to down arrow him to kill him.
Yeah,
it was like all stage, and I barely missed it. Yeah.
You were looking for some nonsense, some custom combo nonsense.
That character is so broken, bro. Olympia is so absurd. All I can think about is like, we are members of the house, which is our little group. Me, you, Cairo, Gary, all of us, Kenny. Like, we're all a part of this little group. We have our Discord server. We've had it for years. The entire pandemic, we've had it. So all the way back in 2020. So it's been 5 years now.
It used to be a group chat, but we upgraded it to a server.
Yes, which literally just happened.
It needed to be a server. It needed to be a server.
Yeah, it used to be a group chat for years, and then we just turned it into a server within the last year. And one of the things that we have been doing in our little group, we've been playing DC, we've been playing Edison, and all these other things. We find the most gay shit that you can possibly find in every game that we play, and we will exploit it and abuse it until it's like not even fun anymore for other people. And so when I see you playing this character Olympia, which by the way, until Evo, I had no idea that this character existed. I knew about the polar bear.
She's so sick, bro. She's so sick.
I knew about the polar bear.
I love how Dr. Mario coded she is too. Like she has like a lot of Dr. Mario. She has Dr. Mario's forward air.
Yeah, the Kobe.
And then like, oh my God, dude, that fucking, you hitting that forward air is so sex. Like I just,
yeah.
like that fucking that is one of my
That's a good
favorite
move.
forward airs in all of like
move.
That's Ganon's forward air. You guys know I love Ganon.
Yeah.
Like that's Ganon's forward air.
I
It's
love
Doc. Like I love that forward air.
That character, the second I saw you playing at Evo, and I was like, who the fuck is that character? And why are they moving so fast? I said, Gary, have you seen this character before? He was like, no. I was like, so this must be somebody that came out very recently. And I was like, why are they so fast? And why are they like a mixture of Fox and like Dr. Mario and Wolf?
Ryu.
Yeah, like I said, this character looks like they're so abusive. You were playing a Crag mirror match with I think ZB or one of them. I forget.
At Evo, yep.
You were playing a Crag mirror match. You won game 1, then you got backdoor 2-0'd, but it's best 3 out of 5. So then you switched to Olympia. And he no longer got to play the rest of the set. And I said, I need to tell this man no more Crag. This fucking character, bro, he couldn't do anything. You abuse grab with Olympia so much against everybody you play, and so far nobody has figured out how to deal with that. You abuse the frame trap of just grabbing over. Like, sometimes it's crazy how I'm getting better at analyzing fighting games from just watching them so much. I know when somebody's about to get grabbed when I'm watching you play. You'll put them in a situation where you attack their shield, and you just know that they're going to like do an evasive maneuver, and you're just right there, grab you. And her grab converts into so fucking much. Like, her grab is so good. Oh my God, that character's broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's been through a long time, and I guess this is a good segue to talk about the strength of Olympia and also just the segue to the haters, because oh boy, do I love the haters. Oh boy, I love it.
You gotta
so
love
much.
the haters.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
Haters be the motivators.
So the thing,
just remember, you don't know the haters' names. They know your name.
The thing of it all, when it comes to the haters, the people have such wild theories, and also the people just have such revisionist history. I saw so many comments like summing up was just like, oh, Stango barely had success with Zetter. I was just like, bro, I got like top 3 at multiple tournaments. I've beaten everyone, but I've beaten so many different people at multiple tournaments. I've won tournaments, not big ones, but I've won tournaments.
Not super majors, but you won tournaments. Yeah.
And it's just like, I've been playing platform fighters for so fucking long that there was other people was just like, Stango spent an entire year not doing anything with Zetter. Then he picks up Olympia for 1 week, and then he wins the super major. I was just like, bro, you think I've been only playing Olympia for 1 week?
Yeah.
I've played every single character because I'm trying to find the strongest character. I'm not trying to play some fucking slobbering low tier ass character.
Bro,
on top of the fact, when you're talking about the other people that play Olympia, no one does it like me.
Yeah.
No one does it like me.
No. Spargo, when I tell you Spargo beat the balls, and shout out to him, he's the man, but Spargo beat the balls off the other Olympia in top 8. Like, it was a 3-0. It wasn't close.
I think it's pretty interesting because like the way that most people will kind of like frame it, will frame it in like, oh, you know, the character is the only reason that you kind of got there and stuff like that. It just takes away all of the surrounding aspects that like built up the success of this event for me.
All
like,
of the work.
all
you
the
did a lot of work.
practice, all like the comboing practice and stuff like that. On top of the fact that like people know that Olympia is good, so like people have Olympia practice on top of
She
that.
didn't come out yesterday.
When did she come out? I've been meaning. I wanted to ask this question so bad it's been burning. When did Olympia come out?
She came out around Genesis. She was announced at Genesis, and she came out shortly after.
So when was that?
January.
Like, okay, so she's been out basically this whole year.
Yeah, she's been out for a long time.
I
like, it's not like
missed this character because the polar bear came out first, right?
Here's the thing. The funniest thing, right? Okay. So she has been out for pretty much an entire year, right?
Not literally a year, but this year. So it's been like 8 months, 7 or 8 months.
She came out at the beginning of this year, right? But I was doing so well with Zetterburn, and people were crying to tears, especially when Sophie.
Yeah, because people were talking about nerfing Zetterburn because Zetter got nerfed.
Yeah, and they were crying to tears because Sophie, who was another Zetterburn player, they were just like, oh, Sophie wins a major on like her first try. And it's like, bro, she plays every day and she's good. She plays with all the good players. So like, of course, she's going to get really leveled up if she has the capability and talent to do so.
Right.
But like through all that time, it was like Zetter got nerfed. When Olympia first got released, she was really, really strong. And people would think that she's better because her tools were better. But I actually disagree. The reason why is because the rest of the field was much stronger. Crag was better, Zetter was better, Claren was better, Forsburn was better, Rana was fucking Jesus God tier broken.
Yeah, Rana was out of control.
Arcane was pretty insane. Raptor was much better, even though Raptor was still kind of ass, in my opinion, during that time. But it's like the field was better. So even though Olympia was good, the field was good into Olympia because they weren't weaker. I think specifically this patch, like if you look at it, it's very similar into Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's like an old deck or a new deck kind of clashes or meshes well into the current format because the rest of the field got weakened, so new things will rise.
The other thing is it's about competition. Like at the end of the day, if you go into a fight and I have a knife, you bring a gun, right? Why would you not? Like if I have a knife, why would you not bring a gun, right? If you're a competitor, you're trying to win tournaments, you're trying to be the best in the world. It doesn't make sense. This whole like low tier hero play the worst character in the game nonsense. Like that doesn't work in real competition, real tournaments. You have to give yourself the best chance at winning. You got to get a good night's sleep. You got to eat. You got to eat. You got to fucking rest. You got to not get drunk. Shout out to the other Ango who lost. Hey, maybe Cloud9 can pick you up. They just lost an Ango.
That would be fucking insane, by the way.
But you have to do all this work. There's a character can't just be good. You, like you already said, you play every character in the game. If let's say Olympia is the best character in the game, everybody else can pick her too. It's not like you got to buy her. She's right there on the screen.
Right.
You can just move your cursor over and pick her. You picked her. Other people picked her. You outperformed everybody else that picked her. And you also performed extremely well, exceedingly well with a bunch of other characters through all the other patches. There is a skill.
Yeah, it's not like you never had success and then all of a sudden you have success. That's not what this is. Like
you've gotten top 8s, top 4s, top 3s, top 2.
Yeah.
And there's a skill to being able to adapt to the patch. Some people, there's a lot of fighting game players that try not to play the game really until the last patch because they're scared. Oh, I don't want to spend all this time playing, and then they make a patch and then my character's not good anymore. But you're just like, no, fuck that. You're playing through all the patches, adapting to the patches. Like that's a fucking skill.
That is a skill. Adaptability is a big skill, and it's the one skill that I always tell people about Edison. While I'm good at Edison, I don't think that people get to see my full breadth of skill expression in Yu-Gi-Oh! When they see me playing Edison. Because if you know my history, I have topped every format that I've played. So one of the skills that is missing in Edison that you don't really need is adaptability. Yep. Like we don't have real adaptability. We don't have a ban list. We don't have new actual cards coming out.
The only adaptability with Edison is just like, oh, this card was a little bit more popular during this time, but since this deck was up, but now that this deck's out the door, we'll play this card again because it's just generic.
But it's nowhere near the adaptability you need when an entire new archetype comes out or an entire new ban list happens, and now your frog deck is no longer playable. Can you still do it? Oh, now he could pick up X Sabers and do it. Oh, now he could pick up Agents and do it. Now he could pick up Gravekeepers and do it. He could pick up Six Samurais and do it. He could pick up Necrons and do it. And that is a skill that is like, a lot of people don't have that. They've been playing Vayu Turbo for 3 fucking years. And like, sure, you're good with that deck, right? You're a master at that deck, but you've been playing it for 3 years. Honestly, if you're not good at the deck by now, this says more about you at that point. Like, you got to play for 3 years straight.
And that format doesn't change. Similar to Melee, which I love Melee, no shade to Melee. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But similar to Melee and Edison format, those formats aren't changing other than like the players getting better, the skill getting better, and then finding new stuff with things that are already there. But that like horizon line gets thinner and thinner. One of my favorite Frazier flexes is like after Gravekeepers, when everybody is like, he's going to play Gravekeepers again. The fact that you topped, as far as I know, every single tournament or almost every tournament that you topped with a different deck.
That's what I did.
You always changed your deck. And you did it because you were like, I don't want people to be like, oh, he can only play this one deck. And that's part of the skill of adapting. And that's kind of, once again, to what Stango's doing. If the game never changes and Olympia is the best character in the game forever, then there's no real reason to change your character. But as the game adapts and things change and the levers and knobs get turned, if you're able to adapt and keep switching to new characters where a lot of people can't do that, even if the character is really good, that is a tremendous skill all on its own.
And new characters will come out too in Rivals, and people will have to adapt to them. Stango will have to adapt to them.
A dinosaur's coming out. He looks crazy.
I think my most favorite thing when I heard people was just saying just like, oh, he picked up Olympia and like, you know, he got carried there. And like, you know, he's just like, he doesn't have like the weight to like keep, you know, being able to play or top and stuff like that. I'm just like, I wonder what those people would think about the story of where during a tournament that was called like Best of Beta, it was the last online big tournament before the game got full released. I wonder what they would think of the story where I was just like, man, I was frustrated because this game's patch currently back then was really ass. and I was so frustrated with how some of the characters were. I was like, Crag's such a dumb character, and I got top 3 with my 3-hour-old Crag because I was so heated about the game being shit.
I remember this.
Right now.
I remember we had a conversation because I couldn't fully understand, obviously, because I don't play the game and I don't understand fighting games on the level that you do. But you were telling me how frustrated you were with the game. And I said, let's have a chat about this because I just want to hear your perspective on why your game is bad. You was like, basically, mashing right now is the way to play. I do not like mashing. I do not like this fucking, you can just do what you want. Like, you can just play so bad. He was like, my opponent plays so fucking bad and they get rewarded for it. Like, people just play so awful, but you're allowed to just mash with Rano or mash with whoever. Crag is another character. Just like fucking mash. And honestly, the defensive options were so bad that you couldn't do anything about it. It's like, yeah, bro, you just have to accept it. Mashing is the way to play. You were mad about that shit.
Yep.
The game got updated.
So I played Crag for 3 hours before the bracket and got top 3. And I was just like, and I wonder what people would think of that story because it's pretty great. And I mean, the adaptability aspect that you're talking about, it like I agree very much so because even the patch that Sophie won CEO with Zetter, everyone was just like, "Oh, Zetter's so broken." And I was telling all the Zetterburn players because I call myself Daddy Zetter after how I did at Genesis, and everyone was calling me Daddy Zetter. I was Daddy Zetter for a little while. But I was telling people like around CEO time, I was like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Zetterburn's fucking ass. Everyone's just terrible against him. You can literally just hold down against his shine, and there's so many different layered counterplay options that you can do to his situations that once people learn about it, you're going to realize this character sucks. I already want to switch off of him, and that was during that patch.
So that's interesting. So that's when Zetter was like considered really good, and he got nerfed after that. So you think there was, but so that's something I said earlier, thank God for patches when you were explaining how etc. Patches are amazing because you can fix a game and make it even better and better and better. And the Rivals team is incredible. Rivals of Aether 1 was great. Rivals of Aether 2, Rivals of Aether period is the best Smash game that's not Smash. I think it's always been that way. It's better than Slap City. It's better than fucking Nickelodeon. It's always been better than all of those games. And I think now this second one proves it even more. But to the point, patches can help make a game even better and refine it over time. But there's always something that scares me about patches when you have something where like, oh, everybody thinks Zetterburn, as the example, is super broken and unfair. But then other people who are playing the game a lot and you start to figure things out, people used to think Falco was the second best character in Melee. As time goes on, you realize Falco's maybe not the second best character in Melee.
People not even better than Puff.
Yeah, but because and there was no patches that changed it, people got better. My point is that you were already realizing, hey, Zetter's not that good. We're just not good, and you have to start realizing how to get better. But then now on top of that, he got nerfed because everybody thought he was so good. And he might not have deserved to get that nerf to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, I was already off the ship. And like I'm kind of known in the Rivals community for my really outlandish takes, but I'd rather be like a strong personality because I believe what I think.
Yep.
And I know that I'm right because, my results kind of speak for itself. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, if you think that you're smarter than me at this, you probably can't beat me. You probably can't top higher than me. And I can probably play more characters and be more successful than you. And like
anybody leaving a comment can't beat you in the game. Like,
yeah. So it's just like, and it's even like my peers, but I have respect to my peers because they come from a place of like intelligence and like experience. But like when it comes to like things, especially like the character that I main, because exclusively every time that I've been playing a character, I've been in conversation or have definitively been the best of that character so far in Rivals. I was the best Zetterburn. I was one of the top Crags. Personally, I think I was the best as far as like ideas and stuff, but I never really had the exact performance.
Yeah.
And then I think this tournament solidifies me as the best Olympia. So I think it's like,
it can't be anybody else.
That's not close.
So I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, like I get it. You think this character is like really overtuned, but I'm telling you, when I asked people, I'm like, explain why you think Zetterburn is broken back then. Yeah. They would say all these things. I was just like, okay, so you just need to know that you're ass because there's several things that you could do to prevent yourself being stuck in these situations. And you just don't actually know how to functionally operate and move in this matchup. And like, that's kind of where I was coming from, where like in the sphere of thinking, sure, Zetterburn was very strong that patch, but I always come from a direction where in fighting games, you have so much to juggle in terms of like mental thinking and matchups and combos. I always want to be on the correct course of thinking. So even if the sphere, like the general consensus of thought is like, oh, shine, pressure, all this is broken. But I know objectively in my mind, like, well, if everyone just understood how to mitigate that, then it's not broken.
You are.
And I don't want to be the fool where it's like I'm like left behind, where I find out by happenstance in the middle of a set. It's like, oh, this player in particular is really good at countering the thing that is like thought to be broken. When if you're actually just good and you can learn how to counter things. Like, I don't want to be the fool caught, like, trying to figure out something mid-set. I want to know what's definitively the truth. I'm like,
in fighting games, it's very adapt, and there's so many people that bitch about this. But, like, there's, like, this old, like, shirt, and it's, like, a logo or whatever, but it's, like, all of these words that are crossed out. I forget what all the words are, but it's a bunch of words that are crossed out, and then the last word is adapt, and it's, like, underline. And there's also, like, the common gamer thing where it's just, like get good, right? And people get so mad at that, but it is, in fighting games particularly, it is just the truth. In fighting games, it's me versus you. There's no RNG. It's just me and you, and and whoever's better today wins. Whoever has the read on the other person wins. And there's a big mistake a lot of players make where they're like, oh, this is broken, I'm just going to wait till next patch. If you're just always waiting till next patch, there's always going to be something broken. If you're just always waiting till next patch, you're never actually going to get good. And a lot of times, the thing that you think is broken isn't really that broken. There is counterplay to it. You're just too bad to even know it exists or to execute the counterplay that does exist.
We're too lazy.
We're lazy, yeah.
I wanna speak to something though, Stango. You were talking about basically with the Zetterburn thing. I like what you said about how everyone's saying, "Oh, this character's broken, shine is broken, the pressure and all this other stuff," and you're like, I see the reality. I see the peak of this game. I see this game for what it should be. So, kind of speaking like Aizen from Bleach, I do the same thing with Edison. I've been telling people, Vayu is a good deck, but it is not the best deck. And I'm not speaking from results. I don't care how many tournaments it wins because it's also the most represented deck in every tournament.
Yeah.
Which already skews the results of it, like it gets anyway. My thing is, I see Edison and I see the decks for like what they really should be. Frogs is way more powerful than Vayu Turbo. The Frog engine, like monarching people for free, that is a stronger thing than what Vayu is doing, which is why like Frogs typically does beat Vayu, especially in the hands of a good player. Now, bad Frog players, I don't care about, because when I'm speaking about a deck being better, I'm not talking about the guy who's fucking terrible at Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing Frogs versus a guy who's terrible at Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing Vayu. Yes, Vayu's easier at a low level, so you are going to be the Frog player at a low level. And then if you have 100 Frog players and 100 Vayu players, because Vayu's so much easier to play, the Vayu players are definitely going to beat more of the Frog players. At a high level, though, when you have high-level Frog players, I see it as the Frog deck is just better than Vayu Turbo. It's better than Blackwings. It's better than Lightsworn. It's better than, like, every deck. I think it's better than every deck in the format. And to me, I don't care about, like, oh, Vayu won this tournament, or Vayu topped this many times this quarter, or whatever it is. Like, that never matters to me. I don't care what everyone believes about, like, oh, it's so broken. Greffer pitch Vayu is so broken. I'm like, that. Like, I come from formats that are not just as weak as Edison. I've seen the game on a wide angle, and I've also heard the perspectives of some of the best players of all time, like Patrick Hoban, the Billy Breaks of the world, people like that who really, really, really understand the game at a high level. And there's no way a fucking beatdown deck like Vayu Turbo will ever actually be the best deck. Everyone can believe that. They can buy into that nonsense. But if you actually understand card games and you understand Yu-Gi-Oh!, you know the ceiling of that deck is too low to actually be the best deck, but obviously a bunch of sheep, and it's easy to play. When people play Edison, they're like,
so
there's gonna be like, I'm
for a lot of people,
this.
It's going to work for them.
Yes, and not only that, but it's like, if you just want to, after work, we're all 30 years old playing Edison. After work, you just want to fucking play a couple games. A lot of people are not trying to think about the Frog lines. A lot of people are not trying to learn. Like, bro, imagine if people actually wanted to learn Frog OTK, which is one of the most underrepresented decks, and one of the most powerful decks in the format. People don't actually take the time to learn it. They don't want to learn those lines. People don't want to learn the counterplay against it either. So they complain about it and they're like, oh, that deck is so unpleasant, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, it's like, you guys just don't know how to adapt to things, and you don't want to take the challenge of actually playing what is better because it's harder to do. It's the reality of it. It's how people are across games.
people generally, especially when they're not like super hyper competitive, like mindset people, they go the path where things come to them more often. There's not many go-getters in the world, especially in like the nature of competition. And that is in the aspect of real life and also like, video games or electronics or like paper, like trading card game, like competition as well.
So on the topic of adapting, right? Because we're talking about adapting and we're talking about taking the easy way out. So I have another question for you, right? Your hardest match, from my perspective, in top 8 was the first game in top 8 versus the Fleet player.
Yep.
So that's also the one that you popped off the hardest. Yeah, you like teared up when you won because you fucking won. But where you popped off the hardest was versus that Fleet player at the start of top 8. That was such an entertaining game to watch because you start that game, and you're playing against this Fleet player. You guys are going back and forth. And Fleet is getting some crazy good gimps and edge guards on you and like killing you in crazy ways. Like he never really blast zone killed you. It was always like an edge guard, gimp, etc. Like stuffed your recovery and killed you. And then you were really strong, but then it started to turn around and Fleet beat you 2 games. I think the player's name was like B-Bat, right?
Yeah, B-Bats.
So B-Bats, I think you went up 2 and then he beat you 2 in a row, I think. And
it was I win 1, he won 2, so I was down 2-1 at one point.
Yeah. So you won 1 game, and then he won 2 in a row, and the 2 that he beat the shit out of you. Like he beat you bad. It was scary.
Yep.
And then you sit on the character select screen for like a moment of time. You are thinking to yourself, like you sit there and like you just got your ass beat, you're getting gimped, you're getting edge guarded.
Yep.
And then you're thinking to yourself, I want to know what you're thinking to yourself. And then eventually you resolve, lock in, and go, no, I'm picking Olympia. Bro, game 4, you beat the shit out of them. Game 4 started, you got your ass kicked game 2 and 3. Game 4 started, and immediately you were beating the shit out of them. I was like, oh my God. And you just completely, because you were losing, you were getting beat pretty bad, you were getting edge guarded, you were all this stuff. Fleet was doing some dirty shit to you, but you locked in, you had resolve, you adapted, you didn't change your character, you adapted with that character that was getting fucked on and like turned it around significantly. Beat him up, and then you guys still had really close games. It went to game 5, and it still got really close. There was some scary shit. He did some crazy edge guards.
Was some flubbing. There was definitely some nerves and everything at the end. It was good. It was exactly what you want in a set like that.
It was good, but you adapted, and I just want to know a little bit about what you were thinking going into after you lost 2 in a row. What you were thinking? Did you consider changing characters? How did you lock in, like with the resolve, adapt? Like I want to know a little bit about that whole game from your perspective because that was an awesome display.
Yeah. So leading up to that set, because I played with B-Bats and I played with other fleets in that matchup, I've come to realize that like Olympia has like a weird like floaty problem where most of her combos and kill confirm strings start to get like a little iffy on the consistency of them unless you hit like a really meaty hit. She's very good at like a scrappy pickup kill generally across the board, but against floaties it can be a little hard, especially against Fleet, because Fleet actually has pretty exceptional range on a lot of her moves comparative to Olympia. And Olympia, as you saw, she gets edge guarded very, very handily. And Fleet is the best edge guarding character. She literally can float off stage and like attack in spaces.
Yeah, you were dying at 0.
Yeah, she has peach float. She has like pit arrow. Like she's crazy.
Yeah. She just straight up can just get into spots and apply pressure in ways that other characters cannot, and do it like pretty much entirely safe. So leading up to that, I knew as far as character wise, that would be my hardest set. So that's why I was very very into it in terms of like my energy. As far as like being down, the biggest things that I really recognized as what my win condition needed to be is that I just needed to get my clean hits without getting trades. So I was trying to be very intentional in the openings that I would get and get them in situations, because when you're playing against floaties pretty much across all platform fighters, the best way to combo and combat with them is that you need to combo and set them up in situations that are very controlled, where there's less variables for them to escape, like wiggle out air dodges or spam fast. Because like Peach, for example, is like kind of a character that's similar in that archetype as Fleet, but it's similar for all floaties. All floaties generally, like Luigi and shit like that, they have like fast moves like neutral air, just like Peach neutral air as well, that they can spam when they get hit with very minuscule amounts of hit stun. So they're really good at combo breaking, and they rack up those their damage off those pickups. Where if it's like you get nared at like 40%, you get knocked down, but they don't get knocked down. So then they tech chase you, and that's how they get their damage in a way. So I knew like going forward from game 4, I was like, okay, I need to like get my hits off of grab and like strong spike moves. So I was going for a lot more down angle forward airs, which is like her forward air is like Dr. Mario, but it's also like
but it also has Mario.
Yeah. So if you hit the lower part, you get
like PM Mario. It has both.
Yeah, exactly. If you get the lower part, it will knock up or knock down. So if they're on the ground, they'll get popped up. If they're in the air, they'll go down. And then if you hit the higher part, they'll get sent away. And then her down air is just like kind of like a normal, just like kind of like a Falcon Stomp, but she just does it with her hands. She just kind of slashes down. So I was like, okay, I need to like try to aim my neutral and openings on moves like that, because those are more consistent to like hit her, make sure she's actually in good stun, and then get some kind of follow up after that. That is like still more consistent. Because I was doing a little too much scrapping, which in that matchup, I think Fleet is like pretty solid in that. And then at the end of game 5, so it's fun. It's very funny. I hit the gem dash, which Olympia, she throws this like crystal that controls space on the stage, and it does a lot of things. But the important thing for this situation is that she can hit a button that like magnetizes her to the center, and she like comes with a Falcon knee. But it's not as strong. It's kind of like a setup combo move.
Yeah.
And then I killed with up B. But when I went for the up B, I thought I killed myself. So I thought it was going to be 1-1. I knew he was going to die to the up B, but I thought I was too far off the stage. If you actually go back on the up B on the second last stock for B bats, I up B'd and I like shook my head. I was like, fuck, I died. So so I was like, okay, it's going to be 1-1, a little bit more scary. But I drifted just enough to get myself back to the ledge. I was like, oh, I was like happy. I was like, yes. So immediately when that happened, I knew in my mind, because like I'm like so experienced in this way in terms of platform fighters. I don't have it in Yu-Gi-Oh! In the same way that Frazier would just be like, okay, this situation, I have game, I need to go for it now. This is the time to go for it now, because if I don't go for it now, some shit could happen and I lose. And that's exactly the immediate thought when I lived. I was like, my next opening, I need to go for game. I need to literally try to kill him right now. So I knock him off stage. I read that he's going to do an aggressive recovery by like double jumping really quickly. I forward air him twice, get him to use up his resources. I hit him with a move, make him use his recovery stall. I stall in the air, and then I spike him at like 50% and kill him.
You're talking about the end, the very last stock, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I popped off so hard because that was a melee player kill. The way you did that, because platform fighters, they're getting bigger and bigger. There's more of them, but there's a level of like confidence, and maybe it's not just confidence. It's also just like for all the people that grew up playing melee, part of like the identity of playing melee is I want to also look cool. It's like, it's not just winning. You have to look fucking cool, right?
Yeah, when it comes to melee players, it's a very like spirit of the game type of vibe for most players.
And then so a lot of people I think coming up now might not have that like look cool and like go for crazy risky shit that if you mess up, you lose, or like you lose a stock, or maybe not lose, but you go down a little bit, but you go for it. And first of all, it's hype as shit. And second of all, it seals a deal faster. So I want to say you did one of these on Cake Assault.
Yeah, you did.
Where
you didn't
you
kill
went
him.
way off stage and you did the up B, and I thought that shit was going to kill you. You guys were in the fucking blast.
Yeah, it didn't kill him, and then Stango died.
You died. But I was so happy you did that, because it was like, I'm happy he's still thinking that way.
Yeah.
Because like
that's needed to win.
Yeah. And then in this game though, you fucking did it. You did it off stage like Captain Falcon's suicide dare. And I got out of my seat. I was so fucking happy. I was like, that's my fucking boy. Because it was so good. Like,
I was at the gym. I took my fat ass to the gym on Sunday, as I've been doing for the last couple of months now. And luckily, I go to the gym at like 9 a.m. to like 12 p.m. So I'm there for several hours. I was on the treadmill watching you play top 8, because your top 8 was really early, or top 4, I should say.
10 a.m. Yeah,
you guys started playing really early. So I was on the treadmill at that time. And I usually know where my heart rate is for all my treadmill exercises. Usually it's around the 150 mark. When I was watching top 4, watching you play through your bracket, my heart rate was at 170, and I burned so many more calories because just watching you play made me so like anxious and so happy. I was also in the Discord in our server popping the fuck off at 10 a.m., bro. I was so excited. I felt like the biggest cheerleader. I was happy to be in that position where I'm actually rooting for someone. On stream last night, somebody asked me, who's your favorite pro player in Yu-Gi-Oh? And I was like, damn, it's kind of sad, but I really don't have one because like, just for multiple reasons, I don't have a favorite pro player in Yu-Gi-Oh. I used to when I was younger, but then you meet your idols and they say never meet your idols. I won't even get into all of that right now, but it's what I'm saying is it's nice to be able to root for someone in a game where I know I'm nowhere near the level. Now I kind of know what it feels like now when people like they root for us, they root for Sizzle, they root for me, they root for people like us who do well. I know what it's like to be on that side now, and it actually is a really good feeling. Like watching you play and just being a fan of you and knowing that I know I will never be that. Like I'm aware that I will never be Olympia at Evo on the grand stage in the finals of fucking Evo with all the lights on me, the Jumbotron, all that shit. I'll never be that. But seeing somebody that I'm a fan of and seeing somebody that I know doing it, it just brought me so much joy. And now I get it. Like it just feels nice being on that side.
Yeah. Oh, I teared up. I definitely teared up with you, man. Like I was so happy seeing the different shit, seeing like the fucking melee swag still there. It was so sick. Like I got so one more question, just to like it just brings the tone down a little bit, but it's still in that same set, and I don't want to forget about it. The commentator said something, and I wanted to know your opinion on this. Yeah, I think it was like game one or something of that set with the fleet player. You were at the edge. It was like how you won that game. You were at the edge. You did a grab. You did a pummel. The pummel got broken, and then you immediately had the edge guard for the pummel break. And the commentator said, I think he went for that pummel on purpose, expecting it to get broken. And I wanted to ask you, did you have the contingency where like pummel goes through, I do a throw, and I do this edge guard? If he breaks the pummel, I go for this edge guard. Like, did you have that contingency set up? Like, if he breaks pummel, I know exactly what I'm going to do? Or did like he just break pummel and you just like freestyled and got to where you needed to go?
Yeah, no, I mean, when I went for the pummel, because I knew it just adds like a good amount of like little extra damage for like a follow up to potentially like kill, because I could like throw into potential kill setup. But I was like, if he breaks it, it's fine, because then he's in the corner, and we're still kind of playing the same situation where like he's in the corner and I'm threatening lethal, like with a lot of different like options and situations. So it was kind of like a pummel where I was like, I don't care what you do. Whatever you do,
I'm still 50-50 regardless.
I'm already spending like my good time here to do what I want to here.
I want to say something about this. I'm glad Kenny brought this question up, because then this segues into something that I've been saying about Stango for a long time when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And when it comes to fighting games. So years ago, I remember you got really frustrated with Yu-Gi-Oh! And you wanted to quit. You were not having a great time. You're like, this game just not for me. It's so bullshit. You were just really frustrated with your results in Yu-Gi-Oh! You had some really bad, like a streak of bad days. And I was explaining to like our group, the problem that Stango has is that he's a brilliant fighting game player. And because the reason why he's a brilliant fighting game player is because of instinct. Reacting and playing off of instinct in fighting games is so fucking important. You guys are making decisions at a rate that a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player never has to ever consider making a decision. The amount of time, so Kenny just said you were pummeling and the commentators were confused on whether you purposely let him go so that you could do something to like punish him if he breaks out of the pummel, or if you continued to pummel him and then you did your throw, you were going to do something after that. What it sounds like is that you were like, I don't care what happens here. I have the ability, the instinct to react to whatever he does. Whether he breaks out, whether he has the best match in the game or he doesn't, I'm going to react to it regardless. That comes with fighting games, and that's what makes you a brilliant fighting game player. But that contradicts the skill that most Yu-Gi-Oh! Players have that are really good, where we don't really play off of instinct and off of speed. We play like a game where we're thinking and we take our time. And so oftentimes one of the things that would hurt you in Yu-Gi-Oh!, and this is early days, you got a lot better at it now. One of the things that used to hurt you is you would play so fucking fast. You would start doing things and you would misplay.
He's like, I'm not going in the time.
And then you get frustrated because like, fuck, I messed up. I had that game. I would have won that if I just played like a little bit slower. And I'm like, bro, you have got to slow down.
It's not necessarily even like knowledge per se, because no one would even need to say anything,
right?
As far as like when I would say it immediately.
Yeah,
I would notice what happened immediately. So it's like I had the capability of understanding where the misplay is.
Yeah,
but
which is also important.
It's interesting because it's like when you mentioned that, I agree with you a lot in that case, because it's like when it comes to fighting games, like the playing off of instinct is not at all the same way of playing off of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like in fighting games, you play. In fighting games and Yu-Gi-Oh!, you play off of contextual information that you infer will happen in the future.
Yes.
But you don't act on it in the same way. In Yu-Gi-Oh, you generally get to see a lot more prerequisitial information. That's not a real word, but I'm just going to say it is.
It made sense. It made sense.
Yeah, you get to see a lot more, be able to intake a lot more information before you get to take an educated guess. Sometimes in some situations, you have to be like, okay, I don't have all the pieces, but I got to make my best choice.
Yep.
A lot of times in Yu-Gi-Oh, you get to make your absolute best choice. I would say over 50% of the time.
Right.
In fighting games, you have to completely infer because you're dealing with a person who has complete agency and complete autonomy of what you heard from what you're doing.
Yeah, you're not playing against RNG.
A lot of the times you just have to be a speed demon and just do everything all at once.
Yes.
And I think, your identification of that when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! For me, I think is where a big problem is.
The part of your brain that is so good at fighting games is at odds with the part of your brain that wants to be good at Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would say this all the time. I realized it. I mean, it took over a year for me to realize, but I was like, holy shit, I see what's happening now. Like, you came from playing, you were playing bird dolphin thing. I would see your Discord say that. And at the time, I didn't even know what that was, by the way. I thought it was some other game. And then Kenny one day was like, oh, that's him playing Smash or a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think if I remember because I think you and me talked about it first when you first brought it up. I think we watched something happened and then we ended up watching Stango at some other random tournament. It might have been PM or something.
Right.
And then you had that epiphany. I think we were on a call together. You were like, yo.
I didn't know that. Yeah. So I had been seeing you because, your Discord tells your friends what you're doing. And I would always see you playing this fucking dolphin game. And I'm like, bro, what is this game that he loves so much? The whole time, it's your other life of fighting games. And it makes so much sense because you're still so good at them. So you've been playing them nonstop. There's never been a time where you just were not playing fighting. You've been playing Slay the Spire, playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! But then at some point, I always see that dolphin shit back up there. And then you come and play Yu-Gi-Oh! With us after 4 hours of being on Dolphin, the fighting game sim. And you would be playing Cairo or Gary, and you'd be moving so fast and just getting wrecked. Just running into torrentials, running into mirror forces, just doing all kinds of bad shit. And I'm just sitting there frustrated. And I'm pointing it out if you just thought a little bit longer, you would have realized that he did this. He summoned the Sangan. He clearly has torrential. He did this. He summoned the Stardust. He clearly has mirror force. Things that are very obvious if you just slow down, but you're playing so fast. And then what's cool is I want people who are listening to this, if you never saw anything Rivals of Aether 2, which is what the game that Stango is currently the best in, watch his Evo or Supernova sets. The speed at which he is playing with Olympia, I want you to understand, you'll know, even if you don't know anything about the game, you will know that it has to take an incredible amount of instinct to do what he's doing on screen. He's moving so fucking fast. Jalen messaged us in the Discord server, or maybe he texted me while I was on the treadmill, and he said, yo, Stango was actually fucking ridiculous. And I said, oh yeah, you didn't know. I said, yeah. He was like, he texted me, he was like,
no, bro.
He was like, yo, Stango is actually fucking ridiculous. I said, yeah, you didn't realize? I said, yeah, he's the real deal. I said, our group, the house, is actually extremely talented. Extremely talented. He had no idea. I talk about you all the time, and Stango's a great fighting game player. But now he got to see it for once, because he never really watches Rivals or something like that. But I put the link in the Discord and everything. He must have clicked it. He's at med school. He's bored out of his mind. He clicked it and saw you playing, and it's something scary about the speed at which you are comboing people, the speed at which you are teching when you get hit, the speed at which you're doing these crazy recoveries that I still don't understand how ridiculous the recovery game is in that game. That game has the greatest recovery system ever. It's so
good, bro.
It's so cool how you guys can mix up your recovery. And everyone in the commentary is saying, Olympia's recovery is awful. Olympia's recovery is bad. And then you continuously recover and recover and recover. The only time you ever struggled with recovering was against the fleet player. Everybody else, you just recovered.
It is it really is, I think, in a lot of ways, the best Smash game. There's a lot of little things that make it that I like about it so much. The recovery system, the whole idea, because in Smash, wall jumping is a thing, but for the most part in competitive Smash, you don't ever really get to appreciate wall jumps that much. Yeah. Every now and then you see it for some style points, but the fact that in Rivals you can do your up B, and when you're in free fall you get one wall jump, so you can wall jump out of your up B to do another up B and do all this other crazy shit to mix up your recovery. It adds so much more intrigue to just the wall jump mechanic, and then being off stage, and then that living over the pit that makes Smash so cool, where like you and somebody else are just fucking fighting and there's no stage under you. And like you touch the stage for a second to go back in the fucking air and Dragon Ball Z fight. And
I
it's
personally
like
think
it's so
the way the system works, to explain it to people, is that Smash traditionally, you can wall jump more than once in every Smash game. But generally getting back to the wall is like kind of a hard thing. The way it works in Rivals, you only get one wall jump, but every time you attack your opponent, it refreshes a wall jump.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of characters have ways to get back to the wall after doing a hit. I think it's the best aspect of the game. It's like everything they can do to shelter and enhance that experience of the game, I think is like positive changes. When a lot of people complain about the recoveries in Rivals because they're like, oh, every character can recover too much. I think recoveries are only a problem if the subsequent and equal balance of edge guarding is weak. It needs to be on the same power level. And I think the whole like looping on the wall is like the essence of that. There's some things that need to change for particularly some characters, but like that part of the game is like, for me, the identity of it. When I think of like Nasby 2, the slime meter, the slime canceling is the identity of that. I legitimately would play a platform fighter with slime canceling nowadays, even though it's terribly broken. It's so overpowered, but it's so enjoyable and fun to use.
Yeah, it's its own thing that makes it interesting for that game.
Yeah. The thing that I kind of wanted to date back to, when you were talking about with Jalen, it makes me really, really happy, especially to get this win in Rivals. The biggest Rivals tournament of all time. I also have a first place title in Nasby 2. Yep. I was top 30 and I was top 35 in Melee. I was top 4 in PM. This win really solidifies and makes me happy because my two biggest motivations for competing in platform fighters, especially, I really like to be the innovator, the discoverer of many things.
Right.
So like when it came to PM, it was kind of known that Donkey Kong was like good, but it wasn't to the level.
Donkey Kong, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't to the level or the degree that I pushed the character, and I discovered a lot of things that no one ever used. Thunder's Reign was the best Donkey Kong player, historically known as the best player of PM, period. But when it came to a lot of the things that I discovered and used, we always like made jokes and memes where we're just like, it could have just been so much worse. He just didn't even use any of this. So that happened, and then like I kind of was the discoverer and innovator of like Grandma Gertie and Nasby 2. And then I was kind of like discoverer and innovator of like Rivals 2. So I ticked off the box of like a lot of those things for me. The second thing is like, I'm a big, proud competitor and I just want to show my greatness. I just want everyone to know how fucking good I am. And this win in Rivals 2 makes me really like at peace and happy because I feel like no matter where it goes from here, in terms of the rest of my accolades that I'll get my platform fighter career, I can very confidently say and proud that I feel like my biggest achievement, and hopefully one day it gets recognized for like several different platform fighter players, but I think without a doubt in my mind now that I am historically one of the greatest platform fighter players ever in history.
That's what I was thinking too. You've done it in so many different games now. It's like, bro, you can't, it's not even deniable.
You're fucking nasty. And I also want to say, just to give you some credit, first of all, I want people to know, if you're a Stango fan or if you're learning about Stango, I want people to know something. You aren't a doc kid. There's different eras of platform fighters, and there's a big influx of people that came in after the Smash documentary, which was awesome. And because it took a while for a lot of people to maybe know your name, some people might think like, oh, you're a doc kid, or maybe you're an Ultimate kid or a Smash 4 kid, right? Who knows when you fucking came in? No. You've been playing Smash because we live together. You've been playing Smash with me, with all my fucking friends, with people older than you your whole life, from the time you were like fucking 4 or 5 years old. You've been playing Smash your entire life, from the fucking early 2000s, late 90s. Like, you were playing Smash, and you've been grinding at this game and playing this game for such a long time, and just all of the different Smash games and being in love with all. And it's like all of them. It's fucking 64, Melee, PM, and then there's but then there's
I definitely skipped out on those ones for sure.
But then you went crazy. Like, I remember you were playing like Brawlhalla randomly, like on some shitty laptop. Like, you were playing all kinds of random, like you played fucking Slap City, and then PM got huge, and you played all these different games, and then Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Like, you played so many of them, and you did fucking incredible in all of them. And then also another thing, the thing where you said an innovator, as somebody who lived with you and grew up with you, that's also true. I remember you from a very, very young age. You would play video games and you would just like run around and do shit. You would just like try to glitch the game. Like you would just play games and you would just like, but from like 6 years old, like you had this thing where like you were trying to figure out how to break the game and glitch the game in all these weird ways. And you weren't Googling it. You were just like fucking with the game and figuring out what you can do with the game and just break it in all these weird ways.
You probably make a great game tester. Because Void, Void is considered one of the best gamers in the world, like period. Like Void, the Smash player is considered one of the best gamers in the world. He actually won some fucking tournament thing that was like the greatest gamer like a year or two ago.
It's like a Ludwig event. It's got like streamer personalities and like actual gamers.
Yep, and like, they play a bunch of different games. And like, so it's not just like, first of all, it's not a Smash tournament, right? Which is Void, which is what he's known for. It's just a bunch of different games. And Void won the whole thing, and it was named like the greatest gamer or whatever like that. And I think this is a really cool thing. But it came out also that like I watch EE a lot, and EE lives with Void. And he's like, one of the things, and Charles and them, they're all like friends. Charles Thorin, who hangs out with like Tweak and all those guys, commentator, Asian guy. They were talking about Void's mind and what he does with every fighting game that he tries. Because Void is the best multiverses player. He's played like a lot of the other platform fighters as well. Was really good in Smash till they nerfed his character to all hell. Then he just kind of like quit after they put Pikachu was just not playable in Ultimate anymore. Pikachu was like outrageous year one, and then they fucking destroyed the character. And he slowly was like, I don't really care about this game. You literally ruined my character, which I understand. But they were talking about his mind. What he does when he plays a game. Because most people are trying to figure out like, oh, like what can I do with my character? Like what advantages can I get with my character? They're like, Void is trying to literally figure out how to break and glitch the game. And he does this with every game, so much so that now companies have reached out to him to test video games before they come out. So like Void has been play testing like multiple games now in the last year. He's like, I can't say anything about this, but just know that there was a thing in Smash 4 that would have been ridiculous if it ever did actually get discovered. It did not get discovered. I'm not at liberty to say it, but it is actually ridiculous. He's like, and also in this game, he's just going down a list, like in a recent podcast, he's just talking about like all the things that are just like not okay. And like these games that he discovers, and Stango, going back to Kenny's story, has been doing stuff like that since he was younger. And that is the mind of a game tester, somebody who can just like, I don't really necessarily care about this game, but I'm going to figure out what is wrong with this game.
Yep.
Like, I think that is such a cool mindset to have, is that you are like a mad scientist. You figure things out that people don't understand. And this is also what makes you able to say things like Zutterburn isn't as broken as you guys think. Vayu Turbo isn't as broken as you guys think. You guys are just lazy. You are losing to a deck that literally sets fucking Raikou 90% of the turn ones that it plays. You cannot convince me, somebody who sees the game for really what it is. Stango sees the game for really what it is. He's like, this game is actually far bigger than fucking Zutterburn and whatever you guys think that is tier 0 about this character. I promise you, if you just learn how to play against it, it is actually just not. That is like a very talented thing, and just like a different way to only certain people's brains think like that.
Yeah, and like I said, I do like have the groundedness and sensibility where it's like, sure, is everyone going to catch up to the same level of that, where like my affirmation of what I think is true will actually come about before something gets patched? No, I don't think that will happen in every instance, but I think what's kept me ahead of the curve so long, where I've been successful with so many different characters, so many different games, I'm not going to wait and find out and like for someone to fucking like gobsmack me with like, oh, I'm a Zutterburn expert and every nightmare and fucking bad dream that you had about people counterplaying your character, it's about to come true right now. And you've been sitting there all complacent saying, no one will ever start holding down against my shine. Like, I'm living in La La Land. I can do whatever I want, just like everyone says, right? It's like, that will never be me. I always play with the full intention that my opponent will play correctly, especially when it comes to fighting games, because that's the way that you have to do it. Because for so many different axles that you have to be thinking when it comes to playing against a live opponent, especially if they're going to be implementing like any bit of adaptation, the more like second nature that you can approach things, like the way you move, the way you combo, the way you know your opponent should combo you, the way you should mitigate damage, the more that can be second nature, just like walking instead of actively thinking about it, that's more brain power and energy that you can spend towards the mix-ups and like the adaptations and like all the things that are contextual in between. The biggest thing that I always tell people, you will never ever get good at platform fighters if you have to think how you want to jump or how you time your wave dashes or like how you time your fast. Like if it needs to be a full body cognitive thought, like I need to hit this kind of tipper up air. It needs to be like eating, breathing, sleeping, walking. Like if you can't do these things on like a second nature basis, you will never be good enough because you cannot compute in your mind how to do these things. And then on top of the actual complexities of adapting and doing like these, you know, second nature level things.
Fighting games are so sick because like the different levels and layers that end up existing in them. And a lot of what you're talking about goes to this, where use like Street Fighter as an example. There are when you're a good player, there are so many different like layers that you're on and that you look for. And when you play against other players, you find what you can exploit. So for example, in Street Fighter, a common thing, if you're playing against somebody you don't know, you just jump at them because you need to find out, hey, does this guy know how to anti-air? Like, is he able to deal with me just jumping at him? Because if he can't deal with me jumping at him, it's going to be a sad Saturday for this guy. Like, I'm just going to jump at him and it's going to he's not going to be able to do anything. Oh, he can anti-air? Okay, cool. What if I approach this way? What if I approach this way? And it's the same thing in Smash, every fighting game. You do these things that you know how to do, and if you don't know necessarily about the other player, you're checking, hey, can he deal with this? If he can't deal with this, I get to smack him and move on. If he does deal with this, I go to another layer. Oh, then it's like, oh, he deals with it this way. He always techs left. Every time he techs left. Now I deal with this. He always techs in place. And then you just like, and then the difference between good players is like, once you're able to do stuff so comfortably and you're able to react and just move fluidly, you're able to easily move between those different layers and levels. And then once you find the thing that like makes them crack, and they don't even know that you found the thing. They're just like getting beat up. They're like, oh, he's so much better than me. Like, I don't even know what happened. And it's like, yeah, because like you don't realize that you're teching in place every fucking time I hit you on the ground. And then I just fucking dare you there. Or like you always tech left or you always tech in or whatever.
I wanted to ask this question to kind of pivot a little bit away from you and onto another great player and possibly the greatest player, Plup. I watched Evo. Me and Gary watched Evo, and he is built different. I don't know much about Plup's history. I do know of him, of course. I do know of him. I know he comes from Melee. I know that he was a solid player in Melee. But like, I never had the reverence for him in Melee that I do for like the Five Gods, for example, right? Like I know those guys, PPMD, Mango, Hungry Box, Mewtwo King. You know, I know those guys. Like I have reverence for them. But Plup, I know he was around, and I know that he, you know, has his own reverence or whatever. But I don't know him as well. And then I watch him playing at Evo. He's very stoic, by the way. Reminds me of McCabe. No emotions, it seems like. He wins and does not do a pop off. He just kind of like wins and goes about his business. It's literally McCabe. White guy. Not any special features in his physicality or anything like that. He just like sits down, he plays his game, looks very plain. But when you watch what he's doing on screen, because he had an Olympia for some reason. He played 3 different characters at Evo, which I also find to be fucking ridiculous. And I was telling Gary, there is something wrong with him being able to play 3 different characters, specifically just counterpicking people and actually like beating them with like, you play this character, I'll play Arcane. Oh, you play this character, I'll play Olympia. Oh, you play this character, I'll play Maple. That is not okay. Like, in every other Smash game that I've seen, I don't know of anyone who's a specialist to the point where they can say, Spargo plays Cloud, I'm going to play this character that gimps the fuck out of Cloud. Yeah, like, exactly. That perfect, because Spargo will lose to the fucking Min Min guy, Dormigi, who's currently ranked #1 in the world. So, I'll play Min Min against Spargo, but then I'll play against Leo, who plays Joker, I'll play Diddy Kong. Because Leo has not beaten Tweak in 2 years. Literally. So it's like seeing Plup do that at Evo was so impressive to me. But what I also was impressed by, me and Gary talked about this for like a half hour. Plup plays against Spargo at Evo in top 8. And Plup uses Olympia in that matchup against Claren, the sword character. Plup beat the shit out of Spargo so bad. First of all, it's 3-0. Second of all, at no point in the entire 3 games, at no point did Spargo ever combo Plup. So me and Gary are watching like, Plup just like beat the shit out of Spargo. But I was like, okay, Spargo's relatively new to this. Like and scary how good he is for how new he is to it. But whatever. Yeah. I was like, Spargo's still learning. Plup clearly took him on a masterclass of like, this is how you play platform fighters for real. Beats the shit out of him. Spargo's angry, goes off, does his 17-year-old shit. But then he plays you, and like Spargo plays you. Same exact matchup, Olympia versus Claren. And it goes to game 5, and it's very close. And in all the games, he's comboing the fuck out of you to the point where me and Gary are watching like, bro, he wasn't doing any of this against Plup. And we were saying there must be something special about the way Plup plays that is just, and this is no, like, I'm not trying to shit on you or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But there is something very different about the way Plup plays this game, and maybe plays all the platform fighters. Because I don't know his history.
He's one of the best of all time. Like every time he wins, it's like you're now property of the Plup Club.
He couldn't get comboed though. I didn't understand when Stango played against Spargo. He was getting caught in I call it the Claren vortex, where he just getting tipper, forward smash. Like he was getting caught in all these combos, but Plup never. If you watch that match, it's so weird. He never gets combo, bro. At no point.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Plup, funnily enough, because I play him often as well online, and we used to grind NASB 2 super hard, and he also beat me in NASB 2 at like one of the large like online tournaments.
So he's just outrageous in platform fighters.
Yeah, no, Plup is 100% one of the best platform fighter players because he also played PM. He just never fully committed to it because he was playing melee during the time.
Right.
But he was also ridiculous at that game as well. Plup reminds me a lot of myself when I play him. He has a very, very strong understanding of how to utilize like the contextual situations that his opponents will present to him, and how to like, okay, based on what you're doing, or based on this hit that I'm going to get, or based on this way I'm going to approach, I know you're going to respond in this way, so I'm going to add a contingency for that. And like, he's really fast on the action.
Yeah, he seems like he's reacting so fast defensively though. Yeah. His defensive options is particularly his defense is what me and Gary kept saying is scary. I was like, Stango is basically a glass cannon. Your offense is outrageous. Your offense is like some of the best offense I've ever seen in that game. Like, it's very scary how offensive you are. Plup has good offense too, and really good edge guarding. Like, that was the other thing. He's really good at edge guarding. He's really good offense, but his defense is it's the scariest shit I've ever seen, bro. Defensive player of the year. The fact that he just doesn't get combo, I don't know how he does it.
That's what playing Samus for 10 years does for you. Is that
he was a Samus legend. He was Samus and then Sheik, and then he played a little bit of Fox too, right?
Yeah, I mean, he picked up Fox for $100 and everything in between. So when it comes to the Plup, like, I agree with that assertion. Like, his defense is like pinnacle, the highest that you can ever really get. And like,
because the rest of you guys are just off. Like, all 7 of the other people in top 8 are offense as fuck. Everybody else in Evo's top 8, you guys were so combo heavy, so offensive. Plup resets a lot. He gets his combos, don't get me wrong. Like, he obviously combos the fuck. But he gets these resets, and then he just puts you off stage. He's really, for some reason, his edge guards they just work. Like, he edge guards so fucking well. Arcane, Maple, and Olympia. He just edge guards. Every time he goes off stage, it's like, bro, that person's getting hit. He would nair with Olympia a lot. I'm like, bro, that nair is bullshit. I think it's her nair. It looks like a sex kick. I called it the sex kick. She has like...
No, that's her back air, actually. Her nair is a 2-parter. It's kind of like Captain Falcon's nair.
Oh, okay. So he was using... he's using what looks like a sex kick.
Broken.
Yeah, it's like a sex kick. He would just keep...
That move is really, really
bro,
good.
He kept using that shit on Spargo when Claren was trying to recover. And I'm like, yo, that move is gay. Like, that move is fucking gay. Anyway...
It's very strong.
Extremely defensive. I want to hear, like, and you're explaining, I want to hear you from your perspective. What does make him on this? He's on like a different level in my mind. Like, he's on some bullshit. Like, I don't even know how to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the character pool that is kind of available to him. He's really taking advantage of like the strongest aspects of like Maple and Arcane, where like Arcane's not really like a combo demon character. You can play them like that, but they're a little bit more exploitable in that way. He sees the value and like strength in like being the controller of the stage, and then setting up unfair situations where if you can navigate past them, you're not going to come out unscathed. And oftentimes you're going to be in a situation where you get further into a compromising point, or you just die, aka the edge guards.
Yes.
When it comes to like Maple, that's like the speed nature in him, where it's like he was super fast on Samus, but he was also strong defensively. So he can weave in and out of your space kind of whenever he wants with Maple. And the strong edge guarding is even facilitated more because Maple just has like really strong follow-ups into like the forward air, which is a spike. And then with
move
Olympia,
where, like, she takes her claws and she goes like that while she's off stage. She swipes that.
Swats down. And then I think with Olympia, she's just a good character. He's a good player. He understands like how to use the elements of like what's strong with her.
Why did he? Do you know why he chose that? Because another thing I don't understand, he's using different characters with different people based on, I guess, who they play. This is all assumption. So I'm like, why is he doing that, right? Because like most people in the top 8 were just playing their character. Like Spargo is always playing Claren. You're always playing Olympia, sometimes Crag, but you play Olympia. Cake Assault plays Forsburn. He plays Forsburn. Like everybody has their character that they were playing, and he was switching based on who his opponent was. And I was like, that's so interesting because I'm not used to seeing that in platform fighters. Like I'm not, unless it's a really bad matchup where you know, like, bro, this is a fucking -3 matchup. I am not going in here with Fox against Luigi because Luigi is just amazing against Fox. So I'm going to play somebody amendment or whatever against Luigi to keep him out. I get that. That is not lost on me, but he was switching every time. Like playing 3 characters in top 8 is crazy to me. Like that is fucking crazy to me.
So he was doing that. He would have just won with Maple anyway, too. Like he would have beat most of those people with just like Maple anyway. But yeah, he was going ham.
I think it's the thing where it's like the bandwidth for switching characters and rivals, because we both come from Melee, because I actually have been doing that for most of like Rivals 2 as well. Like I would play Zetterburn for the most part, but like there was every once in a while where I was throwing in the Crag in matchups that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Like during the patch where Rana was super broken, and then there was like an in-between patch where I did play Zetterburn because the matchup got better. But during like a super broken Rano patch, I would play Crag exclusively against Ranos. That's actually what I did at CEO. CEO, I was playing all Zetterburn. But when I ran in the Ranos, I switched to Crag. That's actually what I lost on against my buddy Ant in top 8 at CEO. He beat me on my Crag. I think the bandwidth, especially since we come from a game that's so much mechanically harder, you don't really need to play to stay warm on a character. Mechanically, the game is very forgiving for someone of our caliber.
Right.
So it gives us more bandwidth to have more options, where it's just like you can beat Marth with Fox on FD, but the bandwidth to do it easier with Sheik is not really there because you need to be really tight on the chain grabs. She has very limited movement options. Her recovery is not that great. And like there's some situations that you need to be like super refined in terms of speed and execution. When it comes to Rivals, there isn't that much of it. I think technically for me, my honest total opinion, in a confined space of just looking at Rivals, Olympia is like the hardest character execution wise because she's just so fast and there's so many buttons that she's flying off.
Yeah, she
it's
like
Olympia. It's like Olympia, Zetterburn, and like probably Claren because she requires a lot of accuracy, and like to do the actual proper really good follow-ups requires like a lot of like intuition and like good practice with her.
Exactly what Spargo has. That motherfucker. The stuff he finds with that character is just so impressive. It's like, bro, that character should not look this good.
So I think like in the grand scheme of things, when you look at Rivals, it's like him playing those characters makes sense because the bandwidth of like how hard he needs to be like fresh on a character is not nearly as demanding as it would be.
Right.
Like
Somebody of his level, you're saying he can just play against Cake Assault, who has the best accolades across this game's history so far. He could play against Cake Assault and just switch to Maple and be like, I'm just going to beat Cake Assault with Maple today. Like, I'm just going to do it. And then I'm going to play against Spargo and I'm going to play Olympia.
He's also confident in it as well. Like, there isn't any wishy-washiness where it's like, him and I talked a lot before the event. We were like kind of talking, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to play Crag for Clarence and I'm going to play Olympia for pretty much everyone else. And he was just like, yeah, I'm going to do Arcane this. I'm going to Olympia that. I'm going to Maple this.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, 3 characters is so crazy.
It's like completely routed out. So there's no second guessing in at all.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Juncture.
To say the least, I was very impressed with Plup because, first of all, it's not that I've not been following all of the Rivals events. I've been mainly following the ones that you go to, and you have gone to a lot, but I've mainly been following your journey. So I haven't paid as much attention to Plup this year, like whatever he's been doing. And then I see him at Evo and like he wins the tournament, everything like that from winner side, playing 3 different characters in top 8. He loses 1 game. You're the only person to take a fucking game off the guy. So he appears in my mind as a god, right? Yeah. Whenever the commentators are like, that's the first game that Plup has lost all weekend. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's grand finals. Like, what are y'all on about? I'm like, I'm sitting there with Gary like, what did they just say? I'm like, wait, rewind that. Did they just say that he hasn't lost a game? Like Stango, that game that Stango just won was the first game that he lost? What?
Yeah, it's funny because like kind of all time like before Evo, I would say like I wasn't fully entirely focused on Olympia. Yeah. Kind of like leading up maybe a little bit closer to Evo. I'm like, I'm focusing on Olympia now, but it's not fully there yet where like I'm like, okay, I still need Crag for Claren because like I just like that matchup. It's super favor for Crag in my opinion. And like I just kind of using that as like a crutch.
Yeah.
From the time of like Evo to Supernova, immediately as soon as I took the game off him with Zetterburn, because I counterpicked with Zetterburn, because I was like, Zetterburn, Arcane, it's a pretty decent matchup because you don't have to edge guard. You just have to hit Arcane and kill him. Because if Arcane's not possible to edge guard, the characters actually recover no matter what.
He teleports on stage, doesn't he? Doesn't he literally?
Puddle is crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah,
but,
he also fucking floats. It's weird that thing that his like back air where he like floats across with his back out and blows bubbles, I think, or something. That move looks crazy to me.
That's just forward air.
He doesn't even know what move it is. It's forward air.
It's just forward air. That's forward air. He shoots the bubbles forward, and then like the bubbles propel him back.
We called the back shots. That's what I call it.
Yeah, that move is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know what it reminds me of? It's like PM Ivysaur up air, where the up air like shoots up, but it sends Ivysaur down, and then like in one of the patches of PM, like him going down from the up air could spike.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, where it's like a momentum move that it goes in the opposite direction that you press the button.
Kind of like from that situation at Evo, like I took the game with Zetterburn, and I was just like, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have gone Zetter because now he's going to counterpick me.
And that's what he did, right?
Yeah, that's what he did. And
he switched. Who did he switch to?
He went Maple.
Yep. Okay, so it started off Olympia versus Arcane.
Yep. Then, I lost the game. I immediately switched to Zetter.
Then you win a game.
I won that game.
And then he goes Maple.
He goes Maple, and then he wins that game. Yep. And then I go Olympia. And like kind of like how fast tracking and like how much information that I learned from like the time of like prepping for Evo to in between the Evo and Supernova. This is like the end result of it when it came to Supernova. Because like now,
which is 1 week,
I don't need any clutch against any character. Like I'm like fully good on Olympia.
Yeah.
And now if I were to play like Plup, I wouldn't switch.
Yeah, I also like you saying that you thought you needed Crag for Claren, but then you play Spargo in grand finals this past weekend at Supernova, the biggest tournament ever. You play Spargo, you play Olympia the entire time, and you honestly dog him. And you really technically shouldn't even have lost a game, but Spargo does that thing where he becomes a bot. And like, he doesn't
went crazy. He got his game. I mean, I know how the kid works. I mean, like when it comes to Spargo, he is kind of similar in that way where he's really strong offensively. But I think defensively, he's really weak in this game because there's a lot of like decades of experience of dealing with floor hugging and crouch canceling and omsa-teching and just how the combo system of this kind of game works. Because he actually was playing melee for a good bit of time. He probably still dabbles with it, but he was getting good at melee. Nothing like crazy, but he was dabbling it with Marth. But like, I am almost 30. He is a child. Like I am Unk. Like I am melee Unk.
Which is crazy because like, I'm Unk to you, but you're Unk to Spargo.
Yeah, like I am like fully up on him on knowledge.
Yeah.
In terms of intuitive knowledge, like there's not much he can get past me when it comes to like operating in this kind of games engine.
Yep. Which makes perfect sense.
I have a significant advantage in that regard. So when it comes to his defense is like super exploitable. And I think even though he's been really great with rivals in like the past time here, I think he can get there. But I think the problem is that personally for me, for my outlook of it, he plays a lot online, but I don't know the way he plays is necessarily like the best way to be like, I want to be the best in the world at Rivals 2.
Right.
I, in my mind, kind of consider him a little bit of a part-timer because I just can't
we all look at him like that.
Where he's stepping away for Ultimate. Because I think that's truly with the level of competition on Rivals 2, I think that's really the only way he could do it necessarily. Yeah. And you do always have the enigma of people that can be top level in both games. But that's only really happened in the field of Smash in totality, where the field of Smash was a lot weaker. Like when Mutaking was the king of Brawl and Melee at the same time, Smash did not look anywhere near like it does today in terms of knowledge.
So much harder.
Yeah.
So I think being like
the average player just gets better and better over time.
Yeah, the GOAT in both games consistently, I don't really see that being a reality, because every time that I've been super high level in all of my games, Melee, I played PM a little bit. I quit when I started to get good. I quit Melee. I played PM, got really good at that. I quit PM, played Nasby, got really good at that. Quit Nasby, played Rivals 2. Like everything that I've been playing at has been my sole and total focus for my time and attention, because it's like really the average Smash player is better. That's not to say there are people that aren't ass, but like when it comes to like super top level, like that's the way I see it. Like I feel I get part-timer energy from him. So I don't know if like a lot of the examples when he's like playing against Olympia and stuff like that. Like for example, my buddy Boyko, he's from New York. I played PM with him forever, like years ago. Like we talk. He's like one of my best friends. I was at his wedding. I played Olympia clearing with him like the other day, 50 times harder than Spargo, because he actually plays and he's also a very, very good player.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be at Collision this week, next week. So I'll get to see him there.
What I was going to say, I learned some information too about Spargo recently when it comes to Rivals. So you are right. He is a part-timer, which is very obvious to someone like me who I pay attention to the entire Smash Ultimate scene, because Spargo is the best Smash Ultimate player in the world. Like even if the rankings, like I think the rankings for half the year came out recently and they have Dormigi at #1. But like everyone knows like Spargo is actually, like we're going off of skill level, just overall performance. Spargo's the best player in the world. He was ranked #1 for the full year of 2024, not a half ranking and all that stuff. He's the best player, but he doesn't take, obviously, Rivals as serious. However, they said that, I think it was Evo. Evo was the first time Spargo specifically flew to a tournament that was only Rivals and no Smash. There was no Smash at Evo, because there just isn't. So he flew for the first time ever in his life to a tournament that had no Smash, specifically just to play Rivals, which means that he is starting to take it more serious, which is also like, you can see it in his results anyway. For somebody who part-times the game, is also scary. This motherfucker got second at the largest tournament.
And that's the thing about it too. It's because like he does so well, but like once again, this is like kind of the trait that I've gotten from being just such a high level competitor in platform fighter spaces for so long. It's like I see what his results are, and I'm just like, I'm still not impressed because I know what it can be.
Yeah, he could be the best.
Like I know what it can be, and I'm just like, you're just not there, because it's just like you're not dedicated. And I get it, because I think of it from the same perspective where I've been when I was seeing like Cody play Rivals and Mango play Rivals and like a lot of different
it's like
players.
It's like when a new Smash game comes out and everybody plays.
You guys aren't actually going to do it though. Like you guys aren't actually going to commit to it. So it's like that's where I see it from Spargo. It's like I wish they would. I don't see like
I really do too.
I don't see business wise and comfortability wise why you would do it, because like I was kind of in a perfect position to do it, because my like pinnacle of Melee, I was widely known in the community to be like one of the best Mark players in the world, but like I wasn't like top 8, top 5 talent in the world, period. So it was easy for me to kind of like not have the largest investment into it, where I'm like, oh, like if this doesn't work out, then I won't be good at Melee anymore.
Like the people we're talking about, to be clear, their bills are being paid by the Smash game.
So that's where it is. It's just like, I don't see business wise how it makes sense that you dedicate all this time for something that you don't know is going to come to fruition. Yeah. Like for me, what it really comes down to, like if I kind of get like a sponsor in this space, like if the game gets big enough, sure, it'd be nice to be like full bills paid. But right now I'm kind of looking at the scope and level where it's just like, if I can just get there totally not from my pocket and like a little money on the side, like that just kind of functions and works well enough for me. Yeah. Like what it's really going to be is like, once, you know, I'm working up my career and stuff like that and then doing it on the side, I'll be able to maintain and balance that, because I was already super high level in Rivals 2 and PM when I was working full time. So I'm just like, I'm just going to work, do a little of this, do a little of that, especially now where it's just like, I've already won an event, you know, in this past weekend, I've gone from being a finalist at the most prestigious fighting game tournament in the entire planet Earth to then winning an event right afterwards.
Yep. Yeah.
There's not many more. there's not many more ribbons I can put on my sash. Like there's not many more things that I can accomplish beyond this besides
and
like
on top of that,
being ranked number 1.
There's the champion buff. This is true in like every competitive thing ever. It's true in basketball, it's in UFC, in Yu-Gi-Oh. But there's a buff that you get when you finally win a major tournament. You get like 10% better.
I can speak to that.
You break it and you're like, oh, I'm just better now. And like, you just feel it. You can see it.
The other buff is that you nerf people when you play them. You have Conqueror's Hockey now. You will literally play people who, because they know you won an event, they are literally intimidated when they sit down, and that is going to nerf them 10%, and you're going to be buffed 10% because you won an event. So like you just have a up and they have a down. As soon as before the match even starts, plug in controller, they're already losing. Like they're losing already. Now it's not as important in fighting games because I've been explaining this to my stream lately, because my stream, obviously they're Yu-Gi-Oh players. They don't really understand fighting games. Most of them don't understand. But I was telling them that like when Stango or someone is better in a fighting game, they just beat the person 100% of the time.
Yeah, you just win.
This is not, I was like, this is not the world that we live in, where I sit down against a random Blackwing player and he can whirlwind shore me out the fucking tournament. That cannot happen in Stango. They cannot pick a Steve or something and like OD on Stango. That's not like, there's nothing in Rivals that is going to happen from a random person who's not ranked at all cannot sit down and play Stango and beat him. It will not happen. It cannot happen. It's just not how it works.
Yeah.
In fighting games, when you're that much better, you just win.
It comes with the scale as well, because it's just like in pools, which is generally just like the preliminary bracket that actually makes like the full top 64, I guess you could say, in layman's terms. It comes with the scale. Like your first couple of matches at a someone of my level, I have my ear close to the ground. I know who's good at the game.
Yeah.
Like I know
As
everyone who's good at the game. So when it comes to like my pools, there will be no one that is going to catch me by surprise, because there's not going to be some super secret hidden boss. And then if there is, the emergency lights do get turned on. But really what happens is like after like round 2, after pools is completed, and then it's like round 2, you play 2 rounds, and then you get into like the finalist top 32 bracket, and then top 8 after that. Round 2 is just like, okay, I might have one hard set here. I might have one hard set here. And then it's like, okay, now I might have one hard set, and that's the qualifier for top 8. I
just thought about the seeding thing and the pools thing, and I'm thinking about Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm starting to wish that there was a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament that actually had pools, because it would be so cool if like you have Sizzle and he's first seed and he has his own pool, and his pool is obviously going to be him and a bunch of people who are not that great, right?
Yep.
And then you're going to have me, C2. It's going to be me and a bunch of people who are not that great. And then you're going to have pool 3, and it's going to be, and then it just keeps going. And like, we all make out of pools, and it's like top 64, winners or whatever like that. And then we are playing, and it's a double elimination tournament, but it literally goes like it's seeded, and there's like, it's a one strong player basically in every pool. The same way fighting games are. Like MK Leo cannot play Spargo until top 8, right?
Yep.
And in some cases, they can't play each other until winners final. Like back in the day when they were both at their like absolute peak, or I should say Leo was at absolute peak.
They were seeded to play in winners finals.
Only in winners finals. They could never meet
like
before
generally
that.
For someone of my level, like before like actual top 8, like statistically, if everything kind of shakes out its normal way, I have 3 hard sets, maybe two moderately challenging, and then like maybe 1 hard set before I actually get to top 8.
Yeah.
That's generally how it always shakes out. Because it's like I'm such a higher level than like the average field that it's like I can scale myself and prepare myself when it's time to get into the next set. I'm not going to get gobsmacked randomly by someone who's just like super secretly OD or anything like that.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I have to tinkle. Hold on.
Yeah, you go tinkle. You go tinkle. I'm going to pause this recording.
All right, I'll do the same.
I'm good.
Pause.
So on the topic of seeding in Yu-Gi-Oh, I think it would be really cool, because I was just telling Kenny, like I've played against Sizzle in Ultimate Time Wizards, I think 3 times now. We played round 2 at one of them. We played round 5 in one of them. We played round 3 or 4 in another one. And that just really shouldn't happen. Honestly, like you should not have 2 of the best players running into each other just randomly. Like it's just a random thing that could happen. Like, oh, you just played Plup round 2 pools. Like that just shouldn't be a thing. Like that's just kind of fucking stupid. I would love if there was actually like Yu-Gi-Oh events that were structured in a pool-like way.
because there's some people that view pool or seedings as like cheating for top players, and I just want to kind of like demystify it for some people.
Yeah. Explain it in why they're wrong, Kenny.
Yeah, what happens with seeding is that it makes it so that the people that are really good like play each other when they should play each other. Basically, if you have, let's say, Frazier and Sizzle, they play each other round 2, and they end up knocking each other out of the tournament. Let's say it's like Frazier beats somebody random round 1. Round 2, he plays Sizzle, and he loses. And then round 3, he plays a true hero and then loses, right? So in round 2 and 3 of the best players in the room of hundreds of players played each other within 3 rounds. So what ends up happening is really, really, really good players that flew out to the event end up losing early, but they're losing to the other really, really, really good players that you would want to see on the grand stage. And then what ends up happening is randoms that would have lost to any of those 3, they end up placing higher. And if you have seeding, you have a lot of randoms that might not get the tops that they have. But yeah, it just makes it so that like Stango spends all this money, he flies to an event, and then let's say he loses to Plup and Cake Assault in round 3 and 4, and then it's like, is it fair that Stango lost in round 4, and he lost to the only 2 people that could beat him, but he did it in round 4 instead of in grand finals? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But then like somebody else gets to go. All seeding does is it makes it so that like you play the only people in the room that could possibly beat you. You play them when you should play them, and you guys don't play them like round 2.
It rewards you for being good historically at the game. Like
here's
that's what seeding does.
Here's what the truth of the matter is. Until I forget what player it was, because I'm losing the stat in my mind. But I know I held the record whenever Genesis 5 was, or Genesis 7, whatever Genesis that was my pop-off year for Melee. Forget exactly off the top of my head. It's been so long. I held the record for most ranked wins from an unranked player for like over like 9 years.
Oh shit!
I literally beat 5 unranked players in a single bracket. I beat 5 ranked players as an unranked player in a single bracket, and that record wasn't broken for like 7-8 years. Seeding doesn't protect top players. It literally just makes the bracket play where it separates the top players, so the bracket doesn't collapse on itself. Because if top players eliminate each other, all it does is that it sends fish at the top players to just like win easily in winner semis, winners finals, grants, whatever.
Because literally you end up with fucking randoms in top 8, and you're like, how did you get here? They all killed each other already.
When it comes to seeding, this is like the moniker where it's like people just don't want to do this nowadays. It's like literally be good at the game, and you will get results. That's literally all that needs to happen. Because if you want to make it like in a 1,000-man bracket, I was seeded fucking number 976 at one point.
Yeah,
but
and you made it.
Through my time and dedication of grinding, instead of being like number 976, because I got regional wins, I was number 1 in my region for like years. I got like 30th seed. So then I had my opportunity to make an upset. Yeah, and it's just like that's literally how it builds up.
The thing with seeding is that if you want to get top 16, I got my top, I'm top 16, but you got it not because you beat anybody good, because the good people beat each other.
Yeah, it's just complete luck. It's just completely it's completely luck. Your bracket was soft. You played absolutely no one.
Seeding makes it so you earn your wins.
Yeah, you play absolutely no one.
Seeding, killers kill each other, and then you play no one. You just get lucky. You play no one, so you get top 16. Woo, I got top 16, but like
then you
didn't do anything to get it. You just like played locals and made it to top 16 because the killers fucking shot each other because they all had golden guns.
Yeah, I really do like the idea of seeding for tournaments. It just, you perform well. It's kind of like a reward for consistently doing well and doing well over time. Stango, what seed were you for Supernova, the tournament that you won?
So I'll tell you for both Evo and Supernova. So for Supernova, the seeding was completed before Evo actually finished.
So they don't change it once they like make it. They don't like say, "Hey, based on what just happened at Evo."
A lot of logistics.
Because people would be like, "Oh, conflicts," and also just like prep stuff for people and stuff like that. I was seeded 7th for Evo, and that's because my last 2 offline majors, I got like 5th place at both. Historically, like big upsets in terms of placements for me, because every offline major that I was at before, I've gotten no less than top 3.
Yeah. But you were seeded in top 8 for Evo.
for
this
Evo.
unranked player that can't do anything.
so I got seeded 7th for Evo, got 2nd at Evo, and I think what happened, because like what the field was, I think I was like maybe 3rd or 4th seed at Supernova.
Yeah, I feel like it was Cake Assault, B-Bats.
Yeah,
and then
Spargo, and then I think me. I think that's how it should.
Yeah, I thought it was you then Spargo, but it might be reversed.
No, it should be because fourth place second. 4th plays second.
Okay.
3rd place first. So yeah, that's what it was. I played B-Bats first before I played Cake, and then Cake played Spargo. So yeah, I was seeded 4th at Supernova. So it's like you get proportionally punished and rewarded for your placements. Like I was no less than like 2nd seed at almost every tournament. I got 2 5ths in a row. Then I started getting seeded lower, and then I've gotten a 2nd, and now I got to win. So now next event, I likely might be 1st seed.
Yeah, I think
the head-to-head record still favors Cake, but when it comes to me, honestly, when it comes to seeding, the only thing that I want seed correctly is like the killers just need to be in the right spot.
Yeah,
because when it comes to like me, I played ZB particularly at almost every single offline tournament we've both been at. I think that's actually true. Every offline tournament we've both been at, we've played a set. And someone's just like, maybe you should ask for like the bracket to be switched. I'm like, if ZB makes it, I know I'm going to make it. I'm going to have to play him anyway. I don't care about playing.
Yeah, that doesn't bother.
Yeah. You're not scared of anyone.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to like play them super duper late to try to inflate my placement. I can beat anybody. I just don't want to play you in fucking like round 2,
randomly.
Round 2 right after pools.
Just fucking
randomly kill each other, and it's just like not fair because then some random can end up placing better because like luck
again had a soft bracket.
Yeah, so it's just like when it comes to that for me, that's like the main thing when it comes to seeding. It's just like as long as the killer's in the right spot, it doesn't matter. I don't care who I play as long as it's at a appropriate position in the bracket. That's all that matters.
I think seeding should also always be based off of overall results, obviously, right? But then it should also take into recency bias. And I think that
bias always has to be a thing.
I think that always needs to be a thing. And I think that's how, when I look at Smash Ultimate seeding, because usually Tweak Talks and Phil's podcast with Lights Out, they always talk about, hey, did you see the seeding for Kagaribi? Did you see the seeding for Supernova? Did you see the seeding for Collision? They always talk about the seeding in the podcast leading up to it, and I love hearing how they talk about it. Sometimes they say the seeding is clearly rigged. It's kind of like an ongoing joke at this point because like Light end up having to play like 2 Luigis from Japan.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, well that is you're just out the tournament. You're going to get the top fucking 16 and you're out. But what I love about recency bias is that it'll be like, okay, we know Spargo is the best player, but the last event was won by the Min Dormigi. So he's going to be number 1 seed, and he's also been performing well overall. It's not like he just like won one tournament out of nowhere and he never did anything else, and then they put him over Spargo. Yeah. It's like, no, he's in contention for best player in the world along with Spargo, but he also won Kagaribi. So we're going to seed him as number 1 for Supernova. And I think that and this is all what I'm saying didn't actually happen, but it's like that's what they usually do, something along those lines. It's like this guy just won this event or he got 2nd at this event. So yeah, Zamba's going to be higher than Tweak at this event because Zamba just got 2nd at the biggest tournament this year. And that is worth something. Like that is worth a lot. Like he fucking got 2nd at Kagaribi or whatever, again, hypothetical.
Yep.
Yeah, like in my opinion, let's say the next tournament happens, I would say Stango's the 1st seed, but then over everybody.
Yes.
Except maybe Plup, because if you look at it, because then you go, okay, Stango got 1st, and then the very tournament right before that, Plup got 1st and Stango got 2nd. So like, okay, the next tournament, even though Stango got 1st in the last tournament, Plup wasn't there, so maybe this tournament, Plup would be 1st seed and Stango would be 2nd seed, right? It'd be something like that.
Yeah, I think it would be Stango 1, Cake Assault 2. If Plup shows up, then you could put him in 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. But I agree. They should be like, next tournament, if all 3 of you go to the next tournament, you guys should be seeds 1, 2, and 3 in my head.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's like just the main thing when it comes to seeding and stuff like that. Like I particularly have never held any stake if I was like at any tournament where I was just like, oh, I should be 2nd, 1st seed, 3rd seed, 4th seed. I'm just like, as long as everything doesn't matter. Because like I know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna play to the best of my ability, and like the best of my ability can win a tournament. So I'm just like I'm gonna get there regardless. As long as nothing crazy is going on, we'll be fine. The main thing when it came to like Supernova, because like after I beat Cake in winners finals, I 3-0'd him first time. So second win,
3-0.
Yeah, it was like first set at Evo was like 3-1. I want to say something like that. Yeah, it was 3-1. And then second set at Evo at Supernova was a 3-0. So I'm just like, all right, I'm really getting this cake thing down. So I'm just like, I beat cake. And, you know, Zeke, one of my buddies, he walks up to me. He's like, how you feeling? Like, good stuff. I'm just like, I got to be honest. I'm just kind of like, I'm resisting the urge to cry because I can feel the win. Like, I know.
My man.
I can feel it, but I know it's not like, I can't like be happy about it yet. So
yeah, you
like,
job's not done.
I was completely like shutting myself off emotionally. Like Shannon was kind of walking up to me and like kind of like supporting me and like, you know, just kind of being my hype man. And, you know, I kind of looked at her and kind of gave her the cue. It's like, I can feel it coming right now. Like I need to be left alone. Like, cause I know if I stay in this mode, like I got it. And she was just like, you know what? You got it. I'm just going to kind of step off and I'm going to just kind of hang out with my friends. Yeah.
One of my favorite Kobe quotes, man, is like I forget which, but they're like, they win like one of the games. It's like a 5-game series. They win one of them, like 2 of them or whatever. And he's like stone faced in the post game interview. And they're like, hey, like, how come you're not happy? Like, you guys won a really good game. Like, you guys won. Like, and they were getting on him. Like, how come you're not celebrating? And he was just like, job's not done. Like, the series isn't over yet. Like, job's not done. Like, I won this game, but I got to still play them tomorrow or whatever. Like, job's not done. And it's like, you got to have that mindset, because if you celebrate too early, if you like let that high come on too early and like you feel that come down, all of a sudden you're not on edge anymore. And like, you end up losing it. You end up losing it.
And I mean, it for me, honestly, it was like, it became a point where it didn't really feel like that it was like, in my mind, a celebration. It was almost like this, like, the happiest, saddest, like, relief, where I was just like, I've tried so hard all my life competing in these games to like get a win. And the exact like piece I had in my mind when I finally got that win, like when I got to hold up the trophy, like I was just like, it's finally time to let it go. Like it's finally time to like let it release. And like, it was just such a great feeling, man, because it's, there's nothing more rewarding in life than like actually genuinely achieving something for hard work. Especially when it doesn't come easy. You know, I'm very like in the whole theatrics of like the Philly fighting spirit, like Rocky Balboa, like literally like everything about that. Like I'm such a nerd for, because it's just such a poetic thing to like the spirit of myself, where like I can always think that I'm like the underdog, or like I'm not capable of doing it. But with like the people that support me and like the belief in my own self, to just be able to fight through that and just be like, I can do it. I can be a champion. Really just resonates with me. It makes me very emotional thinking about it, because it's just like, it's what the absolute pinnacle thing about like competing in my mind, being able to be greater than yourself as a human, being able to do something that almost no other people in the world can ever do, and rise above all the challenges that come with that. Because being just like a top level competitor in anything is such an exceptional gift and blessing.
Bro, there was 500 and something players, right?
Yep. Yeah, 580. It was about like 520 after all DQs, but like 580 registered. Yeah, that
is like, you think about over 500 people showed up with controllers of all different varieties to play that game on that weekend, and you are the singular person who did not lose twice.
Yeah.
Like, that is so impressive and so hard to do. Winning a major in any game, I don't care what it is, honestly. Winning a major in any game when there are hundreds of people showing up to play in this game, people have booked hotels, flew across the country, flew across the world in some cases. That shit is crazy.
It is crazy, because I feel like a lot of people like can like say it's just like, oh, well, the whole tournament wasn't that tough. Like, not talking about Supernova, but like just in general, it's just like, sure, that can be true in a lot of like specific circumstances, but if you really think about it, especially when it comes to platform, it only takes one person to be tough.
Yes.
Yeah, it literally only takes one person to stop.
And in your case, there were several, because I looked at top 8. Top 8 was stacked. It's like, you have okay. What's interesting about the top 8s that you have for Evo and for Supernova is that the commentators were educating me on how these people are some of the best players from other games. They were Plup is one of the best players from this game. They were like, this guy, B-Bats is one of the best players from this game. This guy, Boyko is one of the best players in this game. This guy, Cake Assault, is one of the best players in this. It's just like, oh, so these are all, this is a culmination of just some of the best players from other games who are now dominating in this game. None of these top 8s are soft. I don't care what happens in pools because you guys were going to get out of pools anyway. That's why pools are amazing. You guys were never meant to play each other in round 2 pools anyway. You were always going to make it out of pools. So the top 8, the seeding for top 8 is usually what it ends up actually being, like when you do the preview of what is projected and what the actuals, your guys' thing was pretty close to what was projected. And that, I'm not mad at that. Like, I like when the projected bracket is kind of what ends up happening. But it wasn't soft by no means. You playing Spargo, who is again the best ultimate player in the world, in grand finals, you playing Cake Assault, who's the best player in Rivals 2 by all his accolades that he's gotten in the last year and however long. Yeah,
I mean, he's just strictly like the greatest Rivals player of all time, period. Because
there you go.
His success in Rivals 2, and he was also, I forget how consecutively how long, but I think like for 3 years in a row, he was ranked number 1 in the world in Rivals 1.
Yeah, so this guy, you beat him twice. So my point is, it could not possibly be soft if you're literally going through the GOAT of the game twice in 2 weekends, and he won one game or 2. How many games did he win? 1 game in 2 weeks.
One game. And one game across 2 weeks. Yeah.
I mean, he's the one. Like the commentator said, does a Rivals of Aether victory, does it mean anything if you didn't beat Cake to get there?
Right.
And in Evo, you beat Cake to get at second, and then the very next week you beat him again and you got first. So like nobody at the goddamn bare minimum, nobody can undermine that second place or that first place victory.
Go ahead, because you
beat the most celebrated Rivals player, like,
period,
of the last fucking 5 years.
Does someone make like a Luma rank for your game?
They do. Generally, a lot of people have like a bit of contention with it. It's not exactly like the strongest criteria.
Yeah.
There's like kind of talks of like making something like that.
Yeah, because Luma rank is very detailed.
That's like a little bit more like comprehensive. But I mean, to kind of like finish and reiterate with that point out, I mean, the things that I've had to do over these past 2 weekends, like, and this is what it means to also be a high level competitor, because it's like the same thing with Frazier when he was talking about, it's just like, well, I'm not just the GK guy, I'm the fucking cream and beat your ass with any deck guy. Like, I'll just top multiple YCS's guy. And like, that's the thing for me. I'm like, I'm not just the Zeta burner or the Olympia guy. Right. It's just like, whatever path to victory that I have, I'm just going to get it. And like, you're not going to really be able to stop me. That's the thing about like kind of being such a high level competitor, is that like the jeers and like the anti your growth is just easy to block out when you have full confidence and like, and you truly cherish the accomplishments that you have gotten. Being your own number one fan and believing in the own hype of, you know, what you have done and what you're capable of doing, I think is like one of the biggest things in total to ever really accomplish when you're trying to improve as a player. If you feel like that you're just like gatekept by like, oh, I always lose to this one player, oh, I always have this one issue or one result, like truly what helps heals that as a person is that you honestly just need to believe your own shit. Like, you just need to know that you're the fucking GOAT. But you can't do that in a very disingenuous way. You have to apply the work in a realistic way where you're like, okay, I am the GOAT and I deserve it now. I deserve to call myself that. Like, it's not on any kind of like bullshit where I'm just like trying to like, you know, fake hype myself up. Like, I truly believe it and I've worked hard enough to, you know, sustain or obtain that.
Yeah, you're not Machine Gun Kelly. You know,
I want to. Go ahead, Kenny. Finish your point because I'm going to pivot.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you once again, you have a long history, and like some people might not know this, but you can look it up. You can go to YouTube and type in Stango versus Mango. Like, you've played against the best players in the world in platform fighters. Like, you've been bubbling, and that was Stango versus Mango was a long time ago. Like, you got there and it was like, that was a good fucking game. Like, you have like, you've been moving up those stairs, and yeah, I don't know, you're fucking great, and it's, people can't take that away from you. And like, all the people that talk that shit, like they're not gonna be able to get to you, they're not gonna be able to bring you down, because like, you've already dealt with the actual people that can bring you down, which are the people that you have to fear in tournament. And like, you've gotten to the point you don't have to fear them, you can play them, you analyze them, studied, blah blah blah, gotten better, you put the work in. Yeah, so like, all that bullshit is bullshit.
What is that?
Literally, I was pulling it up just to reiterate with that. Genesis 5, Stango versus Mango, over 7 years ago.
Dude, I'll never. And I remember cheering my fucking ass off. Like,
that was my breakout tournament in Melee, and it's only been up since then.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, congrats. It's really nice seeing you win a major. It's so cool. Like, our group, I'm just so impressed with our group over these last 5 years, man. Like, Luke being the #1 player in DC, fucking Gary winning an RBET last year, me winning an Ultimate Time Wizard, like Sushant Televisual won fucking Edison Worlds, like you winning Supernova, getting second at Evo. It is actually scary just how talented. Again, our group is just so fucking talented at the games that we play. We're all older and we're thriving in the games that we play. And I just love that. That shit just warms my heart. Like, I don't like many things. I'm a very hateful person, but that shit warms my heart. Like, I'm the Grinch, but then secretly I love Christmas. Like, that's what's happening when I see you guys. When I see you guys winning, I just get so fucking happy. So yeah, I'm very happy. I wanted to pivot real quick. I have to give an apology though. It's been a year. So a year ago, me and Kenny had like a pseudo argument about platform fighters in general, because there's so many of them. And there has been so many of them that have just come and gone. And I have a very negative opinion about Smash clones in general. Like, I typically just do not like them. I don't know if you remember this, Kenny. I just hate.
I remember. Yeah. That podcast was you, me, and Sizzle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Sizzle was there.
So this is a year ago. I hate Smash clones. Like Nasby, Multiverses, really hated that one. All of them. I hate all Smash clones in general. Like, I'm just a hater. I'm a purist when it comes to Smash. And Rivals, I thought would be exactly like all the other failures that have come out in the last 10 years that have tried to be Smash Melee. They all tried to emulate Melee. And at some point, they all just fucking nosedive and just go out of existence in the worst way possible. They lose all their player base. Like, they just crash and burn. And I kind of wait for it because people always try to hype. I hate people try to hype them up as they're going to be the next Smash Melee, and nothing is going to be that. You have to realize, like, nothing's going to be that. But I thought Rivals 2 was going to be a multiverses type of game. I thought it was going to be a disaster. I was like, these games never last. I don't know anything about Rivals. Don't really need to. This game is going to crash and burn like all the other Smash clones. And I was telling Kenny, I was like, I'm going to put on my calendar a year from now to remind myself that Rivals 2 will literally be an irrelevant nosedive of a game a year from now. So I set a reminder that popped up on my calendar last week.
You're so petty.
I literally had something pop up on my phone last week that was like Rivals 2 nosedive. And conveniently, it's the same week where Stango is getting second place at Evo for Rivals 2. So I was like, holy shit. Not only was I wrong, but like my friend, one of my closest friends now, literally is performing in this exact tournament. And I happen to love the game. Like, I actually love watching this game. I love watching it. Sick. And I don't even play it, and I love watching it.
Can I tell you as well, there's a part of this that you don't even know is so ironic. A year ago, at this exact tournament, Supernova, I played Cake Assault in Grand Finals, the first big tournament for this game, got second. I've been on this trek to getting my win for an entire year.
Yeah, wow.
You set an alarm for my win.
Yeah, that's right. That's so sick.
So yeah, I owe you an apology, Kenny, because I was like, you are fucking crazy. This game is going to be literally irrelevant in 1 year. And it is now probably second only to Smash Ultimate when it comes to platform fighters.
Yeah, it's cool because, like, and you know, there's no like, obviously there's no hard feelings. You just weren't aware of it.
Yeah, I literally wasn't. I was like, they're all the same. They're all fucking Melee clones. They all just nosedive. They're all multiverses.
Yeah, my confidence in Rivals came from Rivals 1 because Rivals 1 was out for a long time and it stayed strong. It kept a strong community. It kept strong entrants. It was never like super blow up. It's not Ultimate. It's not May, but like it kept a very strong community. It had a very strong foundation, really good gameplay, and a really good dev team behind it. Shout out to Dan Fornage. I forget how to say his name, but shout out to him.
That's my boss. That's my boss.
The man who like spearheaded Rivals, but they had such a strong game that really has intention behind it. The thing about Rivals, just to like give it a little bit of flowers, like even back at Rivals 1, what I loved about it was that a lot of these games try to like be Melee or whatever, and like they'll try to do like something different, but I don't feel like they're as realized. Rivals was super realized, and like they had this idea like, okay, it's gonna play like Melee, but it was an indie game. He didn't have a budget, so he was like, okay, I can't afford to make enough animations for there to be grabs, so there's no grabs. And so he was like, because there's no grabs, there can't be shields, because if there's shields and there's no grabs, you can't do that. So there's the parry mechanic. And then it was like, okay, once again, I don't have enough budget for animations. So there's no ledge either. I can't make an animation for them hanging on the ledge. I don't got the budget for that. So there's no that. And then from that, he takes, and it's what's amazing about old video games. Old video games, when they were so restricted, there was greatness created in those restrictions. You had to work around those restrictions and create greatness in that. So you have all of that, and he creates all these mechanics that work together with that budget. And then there's this whole idea of like every character having some form of stage control. There's an idea of stage control with every character. Zetterburn has the fireball, and then he can also put a fire pit on the ground.
Yep.
You know, Crag has the rock that he can throw and create the pillar. Orcane has the puddle. Like every character has some thing, and it's a really thought out thing. So anyway, Rivals is a super thought out game that had a really strong community, and Rivals 1 outlasted all of the Smash clones that came, because Rivals is like the first real Smash clone. It outlasted all the ones that came after it. Rivals 1 came out first, then there was Slap City and all this other bullshit. It outlasted all of those games, and then Rivals 2 was just like taking Rivals 1 to the next level. So I was so excited for it, because I remember I got Rivals 1 I went into debt to get Rivals 1 by accident. I didn't know I was going to go into debt. I put my check in the bank, and then my check cleared. I bought Rivals 1 that fucking night. I'll never forget. And then I got a notification saying the check bounced. And then
shit.
the bank tried to say I owed them like $100 because like the check bounced, and then like blah blah blah.
Like,
I was like,
bullshit.
I was like, the game was 30. I was like, what do you, or 15, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you mean? I'm not giving you, I'll give you the 15. I'm not giving you 100. But it was great. Anyway, I love Rivals. I love how petty Frazier is, though, that he set an alarm to come at me. He set an alarm to attack me.
I guess in a way, yeah, I guess I was setting an alarm to attack you, but I was more so setting an alarm to just be like, I told you so, this game is dead. Like
my man set an alarm to say nana.
He was coming from my head, bro.
It wasn't,
he was coming from my head.
That's the thing, though. It wasn't, obviously it wasn't about you specifically.
Yeah.
It was more so like, you have faith in these platform fighters, and in the last year, I've seen Nasby and Multiverses go to shit. So, like, you're trying to tell me that this one is different. I'm telling you, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not. It's
the only one I had faith in.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't buy Nickelodeon. I didn't buy Nickelodeon 1 or 2.
And the way I kind of knew, I knew that you were probably right, though, even though I set an alarm and everything, the way I kind of knew you were probably right is because you didn't fight very hard with me when I was like, this shit is going to be out of existence in a year. You were very calm, actually, and just like, no, it's not. You were like, it's not. You're just like, no, you're just wrong. It's not going to be gone in a year. And I'm just like, yes, it is. It's going to be just like fucking Multiverses, which is like vaporware now. And you were like, no, it's not. Like, it's just not going to be that. And then you just stopped. You just fucking stopped. Like, we didn't go back and forth for long. You just kind of was like, okay, like, okay. And then I set an alarm in secrecy. I just fucking went on my phone and was like, all right, calendar, August 6th, 2025. Set an alarm, and that shit, and then it popped up, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, well, I have to bring this up.
In my head, what's the point? It's like either in a year I'm right or I'm wrong. Right.
And there's no hard, like, we don't fucking have stakes in it anyway, right? Like, it's not like I have shares of stock in fucking Rivals. Like, I don't fucking profit if I'm right. I don't profit if I'm wrong. So it's like, yeah, whatever happens. But it's just kind of funny. I wanted to make a formal apology.
That's awesome.
I thought it would be honest.
Listen, I appreciate it. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. But I also just want to still on Rivals, and something I am invested in because he hasn't been mentioned at all. I just need to know, all right? Like, how's my elephant doing? Like, how's Loxodon?
Yo,
like,
I want that character to be good.
How's my boy? Because that's my guy. I just want you to know I have Rivals of 2, Loxodon, Rivals of 2.
Rivals of 2 is crazy.
Loxodon is my fucking guy.
You just sounded like my mother saying Mario. Just want you to know.
Rivals of 2
like, you know how old white women say Mario?
Listen,
Mario, right?
I need to know what's the stock on my elephant, because I haven't seen him in top 8. Like, what's his stock?
So here's the whole deal when it comes to like the characters of Rivals. Every character is very, very good. So much so that like when it comes to the scale of like a tier list, it functions so much differently than every other game. Like the low tier character can like have a solid matchup or even get a top 8. I think right now, legitimately, every character can get can get top 8 as it stands right
Oh,
now.
so it's Edison.
I don't think it's like terribly easy by any means for certain characters, specifically Locks. I actually been playing a lot of Locks recently in my cooldown period after Supernova, because I've always known that Locks is like actually kind of broken.
He's so sick.
He's really good. He's actually an extremely good character.
He's so sick.
I love that character.
He's
He has a big ass axe.
He's just like unfortunately plagued by a terrible player base. It's like Lockstomp players, Crag players, they're all terrible at just Smash. And
Crag players were terrible in Rivals 1.
When I say Smash, I'm talking about like fundamentals of platform fighters. Like,
yeah.
When I play against you, I can tell if you're a good Smash player based on the way that you play this game. If you're fucking mashing like a chimp on a controller, like I know you're just on some bullshit and like you're just like you're not actually good at this game. But if you're mashing in a good way, which if you're a good player, like the thing I always tell people when, everyone complains about mashing, I'm like, secretly though, mashing is just always broken in every platform fighter, but you have to mash.
Mashing's broken in every game.
You need to mash. You need to mash in like an accurate way. Like your mashing needs to have intention.
Yeah,
and like that's the thing that I tell people. It's just like when people talk about like people who mash, I'm like like mashing in Melee is broken, right? So many different like techniques and like things that people do is literally just mashing. Like people just mash in that game.
People have such a negative connotation for mashing in platform fighters. I know Spargo, this just came up last week in Tweak's podcast about Spargo, how he doesn't like, a lot of people will say that he's a masher, because if you watch the way his Cloud plays, it plays like a bot. In a lot of situations, you're like, how did he input that nair or that back air or that forward air right there when he got hit? Like he'll get hit and immediately hit the person back. And it's like, bro, he had to be mashing the fucking attack button just now.
And I played him firsthand, and I already experienced it. And like when I play against Spargo, the thought that comes to my mind is like good Smash player. That's the vibe that I get. Yeah. Like I understand, because it's like even though he's so young, I'm so tenured. Like I can already see it where it's just like, yeah, you're a good Smash player. You're like on the same level of like thinking of me. Like we might have our strengths and weaknesses as far as like, I'm better at this than you. You're better than this at this than me. But like when I play against him, I'm like, okay, if I didn't see your face and I was playing against somebody like there's a curtain beside me and you're on the other side and I don't know you're over there, I'm like, you're a good Smash player. Like I can already tell by the options you choose and like the decisions that you make.
It is interesting though, because low level, I think people think mashers bad, and now you're a high level fighting game player. You're like mashing good. Like if you do it correctly, obviously, but mashing, it's always like full circle. It's like mashing has a negative connotation. When people say mashing, they're not giving you like props. People say you're a masher. They say Spargo's a masher. They're trying to discredit him being the best player, saying that he's just mashing, which is also a ridiculous insinuation, by the way. To be number one at any fighting game, I don't give a fuck what the fighting game is, by the way. To be number one and to reduce somebody to masher is fucking ludicrous.
Yeah. The sheep are loud. The sheep, they got a lot
masher to be number. You know who he has to go through to be number one, bro? To be number one.
The sheep have a lot to say, bro.
Is crazy to say that.
I wanted to say to what you were saying, Stango. I just want to say one of my favorite compliments of all time I've ever got. This was after Stango was like he was nice. He was nice at the Smash games, and I hadn't really played Melee. But then one day we were just hanging out playing, and I remember Stango was like, "Hey, you're actually pretty good. Like if you could actually like pull off the things you're trying to do." He was like, you actually know what you're doing. You have the mind for what you're doing. You just can't execute the thing that you're trying to do. He was like, but you're pretty fucking. I was like, that's fucking right. But,
you gotta put the hours that are required. Is just we're old.
It is funny that and maybe you can give an insight on this, because I actually be really curious, Frazier. I feel like with the amount of the aptitude that I have for platform fighters, I can assess someone's skill level probably better than they can assess themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
From watching them play. And it's very easy to do because like Smash is so expressive and it's so layered with like, you do this thing and like I can objectively tell that it's like the correct thing just based on like how long I've been playing. And I know you have like that same kind of feeling when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's just like you see it as a way and like you can go into detail further about it, but you see it as a way of like you see somebody do a play and you're like, yeah, you can do that play and that play actually works. But like here's even a step further that's even more OD and more broken and like super like no deviation optimally. There's no better way to do the situation.
When I watch Cairo play Diva Hero, when I watch Sizzle play Value Turbo, and I've seen both of them play those decks in the last year, and I luckily was in a spot to watch them do things that I was like, wow, like you guys are on that level. Like I have actual respect and reverence for you guys, because what you just did, 99.9% of players I'm convinced would never have saw that. Sizzle did something on his last one in Orlando this year. I was standing right behind him. It's right before the match started. His opponent sat down. I pulled out my phone. I put it in his face while he was like taking his deck out, so he didn't even know it was in his, like, I was like this. He's like looking over, like pulling shit out, and I'm like this. And I said, I'm gonna tell my kids that this is Jackie Chan. And he looks over, he's like, yo, that's hella racist, because that's his joke with me. He's always like, Frazier's hella racist. Anyway, he's like, that's hella racist. I watch him play the match. I'm standing right there because I'm out the tournament. I'm standing right behind Sizzle, and I get to watch him play the entire set. And it's a Value Turbo mirror match. And his opponent is like winning because I think they won a die roll or whatever. It gets to a point where Sizzle goes, set reinforcement. First of all, I was so confused. He goes, set reinforcement and army, set burial, set heavy storm, go. His opponent goes, set a monster, set 3 back row, go. Sizzle goes draw.
Oh my god.
Activate Rhoda, get Greffer, activate Burial, put this stuff back in the grave, flip up heavy, wipe out all 3 of the back row. And I just was like, oh my god. I was like, he's actually the real deal.
Oh, the pro
like
storm.
It was just so gross, because looking at his hand, again, 99.9% of people are never setting their 1 reinforcement in the army and their heavy storm to bait their opponent into absolutely losing the game immediately. Like his opponent lost on the spot. Like he lost the second the heavy got flipped, and his opponent went. He literally went like he went. he scooped up the 3 back row.
You got me.
He scooped up the 3 back row, and I was like, oh my. Then he proceeds to win the whole tournament. Like that was his second Ultimate Time Wizard win. So I was like,
you got me.
Much deserved. The person who should have won this tournament. He is the real deal. Seeing stuff like that. And then when I play against people and I like immediately frame 1, turn 1, they do something, and I'm just like, all right, well, this guy is not good. Like immediately by what he just searched, or the way he just set his cards, or the fact that he set his back rows, then set a monster, just like weird little things like that. Like people just do like so many small things that are just, you don't know what you're doing all the way.
Yeah, it's crazy too, because it's like, when I think about it, and maybe you can correct me if you disagree, I find it interesting in that case where it's like the wrong search target, the wrong sequencing of this thing. Card games seem a lot more linear to me in that way, where it's like you extrapolate a player's like worth and skill off of like a very basic play and a deviation of thinking. When it comes to fighting games, especially like platform fighters, I feel like there's so many different opportunities to see, and like you can gauge and get random readings where you're like, oh, I'm getting ass on my reading. And I'm like, oh, well, you did that pretty well. And like, that's not a normal thing. Versus like, I feel like card games are so restrictive in that way, where it's like, if you're not firing correctly on all axles, like you are not good. But like in fighting games, you could like be like 50% bad in some things, but you could be really good in others, which kind of like makes you like not a O tour, but you're like a 3 tour.
Right.
Which is really that makes a lot of sense. Concept to me.
I see what you're saying. And what I would say in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is depending on the length of the game, the information is being divvied out, because turn 1 is basically so easy in my head anyway, even though a lot of people fuck up their turn 1 in Yu-Gi-Oh! But turn 1, when there's nothing going on, right? It's like literally turn 1, nothing has happened. This should be the turn that you play perfectly every time. This is why I go into solo mode and I just literally play, like you've seen me do it. I just go into solo mode and I fucking shuffle 100 actual hands and play them out. So I never fuck up turn 1. Every turn after that though, when they set the Raiko and I blatantly go set an MST and I stare at them and I say go, if that person flips that Raiko and pops my back row, you're not that good. I'm gonna chain the MST. I chain the MST and pop your bottomless trap hole. You just got. I just literally temp checked you. That was like this. It's the smallest thing. You went set a Raiko. You went charge, search Raiko, set Raiko, pass with a back. You set a back row 2, and I go draw. Yeah. I look at my hand. I go set MST, go, and you go draw, flip Raiko, pop back row, and I go chain MST, pop your back row. I just temp checked you.
It also feels like another thing as well, where it's like, I feel like in fighting games, you don't really have to go like through that rigmarole of like temp checking people.
You have to probably fast.
you can generally just like get into situations where you're just like, okay, I'm gonna just stomp you real quick.
Yes.
In card games, the way they just function as a game, like you
it is
have
different
to see what your opponent does.
Yep.
Like your opponent has to respond and have a turn, which, in a very like basic sense is not interrupted. Like you can't stop them from what they want to do.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's just really interesting because I feel like you just get to see so much more from card games than it feels like fighting games, because you could just be like, well, every time I touch you, you actually just lose all, like you don't have any more agency. Like the moment I touch you, it was over.
Yeah.
Versus like a card game, it's just like Sizzle said, if you don't have a heavy storm and you play this way, then I win.
Yep.
If his opponent just had heavy storm, he'd be like, oh, well, that's it.
Yeah, he would have lost the game. If his opponent went heavy storm, he would have absolutely lost the game.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because it's just like it feels so unnatural to me, because I feel like you have to be able to be willing to operate in that way. And like my comfort space of being just like in the competition that I've been is like I'm able to like do all the feelers of like, how do I want to do this, and like this matchup and this character and this stage. I have like all the parameters and control, but it's like if your opponent draws in this way, or maybe if they just have a fucking like a brain abscess and their logic is just completely off. They're like, oh, set 3? It's just like, I have 3 back row to set, but I'm not going to set them for whatever reason. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
It's just like, now you're just sitting there with a heavy storm that's never leaving the field. And now you're like, oh, well, I drew my bottomless now. And like, I kind of want to set it.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like it's so weird because it feels like forcing your will on people in Yu-Gi-Oh! Feels a lot less about like the less about like the physical stress aspect and more of like the mental gymnastics of like, does my opponent believe my shit?
Yeah.
Like, does my opponent believe that I did this?
This also is impacted heavily by how long the format goes on. In Modern, the best players keep topping and winning over and over again. You see the same people always performing well, basically, in Modern. And it's really because the game keeps changing. And this is where Modern is just way harder to play than a Retro. Like, it's just a fact. Like, it is harder to be good consistently at Modern Yu-Gi-Oh! For multiple reasons, but mainly because of adaptability over and over and over again. Right now, Edison has been around, real Edison, because there's like the pre-Edison that's like before 2022, and then there's real Edison that's like after 2022, right?
When people were still winning with zombies and shit.
Exactly. That shit's over with. We're so far from the shallow. Like it's frogs, black wings, and Vayu. Like let's just call it what it is. And you get an occasional.
It was all downhill when we played at that Philly pod, and you just no diffed me and like
you were playing zombies. Like your deck is from 2021.
I did the only play I could do.
Yep.
I set my monster. And I got OD'd on 2 games in a row.
Your deck was a 2021 deck, and my deck was a 2024 deck. And there is a very, very clear difference. But my point, so it's so interesting because there are 2 versions of myself when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! There's the one that used to adapt to every format and still top the events and adapt to Konami dropping a new deck that literally outclassed my last deck that I just did well with, that the whole format was based on. They literally just dropped a new deck. This Nekros deck destroys my Shadal deck. It literally is designed to destroy Shadals. Like, literally, all the Nekros monsters say, if your opponent controls anything from the extra deck, fuck on them. Like, that's literally what the card, like, Bronic is like, extra deck monsters get spun back. Colossus says extra deck monsters, 0 attack. Unicorn says extra deck monsters don't have effects. Like, they literally made an archetype to counter the last best deck, which was Shadal. So it's like, I have to adapt to that, right? In Retro, people, again, have been playing Blackwing, Vayu, and Frogs for the last 3 years now, and they've been playing now hundreds of matches, if not thousands for some of them, hundreds or thousands of matches with the same fucking deck, against the same decks, against the same side decks, against the same patterns over and 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 over again. And so it's like, okay, now people are just kind of all getting to us. They're not all good. I'm not saying that, but the skill level has definitely risen when it comes to technical play. Like, it's harder to get off what I said about the Raiko MST thing now in year 3 of the same format than it was in 20. When I came in, bro, I probably looked like Prometheus who gave humans fire. Because in 2022, people were slobbering with like some of the things that they were doing. And here I come literally inventing fire. Like, the modern Hero Frog deck is literally based on my deck. Like, what I did to Hero Frogs. It wasn't a winning deck until I touched it. And like, that is like, I sculpted the Hero Frog deck, and now it is one of the, not only one of the best decks in the format, arguably the best deck in the format, but it is a tournament winning deck, and it's won, now Hero Frogs has won over 10 tournaments. It might be over 15, but it's won well over 10 tournaments since I literally sculpted it the way that pretty much everyone plays it. So it's like, that. But the problem with that is, once you do that, once you give people fire, they now have fire.
Yeah,
they start burning down villages.
Yes, now they also can heat up their meat and shit. So it's like, it's harder to do over time because now I'm playing against people who are just overall better. Like, they've been playing their fucking value deck. They know my frog tricks. They know whatnot. They know some of the cardinal sins that you don't commit against frogs. Like, a lot of people know, like, don't do this against frogs. You will lose the game because you're going to get fucking Caiused here. Then he's going to bounce the Caiused and you're in this fucking loop. And you just lose the game outright. Now people are like, let me not do that.
I just remember two things. I remember when people would take forever to concede to Ryza, spin your monster, swap frog, bounce it back, set a back row, and they'd be like, oh, I get out of this, set my monster again, set a back row. I'm like, okay, Raigeki, break your back row. All right, Ryza, spin your monster, bounce again, and be like, oh, am I in a loop? Oh, I'm in a loop. I guess I'll concede. Now when that happens and they look their hand like, oh, it's solved, quick, concede. Like,
instant.
And then like, I remember when the newest trick on the block was fucking going swap frog bounce, chain fucking super poly.
Oh yeah, that one too.
To get under bottomless. Yeah. Now that shit is just standard.
Yeah, like I literally did that on stream. There's video evidence of this. Me doing this at I think a deck devastators that I ended up topping. I did that exact play. I was playing against Hero Beat, and I like summon Swap Frog, priority, bounce it to my hand, chain Super Poly, discard the Swap Frog I just bounced to my hand, fuse with your field, make absolute zero. My opponent tried to bottom us. I was like, well, you can't do that because I went Chain Link 1 Swap Frog, Chain Link 2 Super Poly. So Chain Link 2, 0 gets summoned. Swap Frog is still resolving though, so there's no opportunity to activate Bottomless Trap Hole. And the stream was just like, what the fuck 5,000 IQ play did Frazier just do? Like literally 5,000, like what the fuck did we just see? So stuff like that is like, I give you guys fire. And some people obviously see the fire and they're like, I like literally Prometheus, like I'm fucking giving people fire. And I do this throughout the streams too. Like yesterday I was giving people fire because there was a lot of Hero Frogs were in a mirror match in the finals yesterday. And I literally was saying all the rules they were breaking as they were playing. Like they were doing things and I was like, you just don't do that. And then I said, there are a bunch of rules in my head when I'm playing with frogs and against frogs that I don't even really think about, but they're like things that are just happening naturally. Like how Stango said, you'll never be good at Rivals or any platform fighter if you have to think about your jumps. Like like, and it's the same, like if you're still struggling with certain frog things, it's like, bro, this is not the deck for you. Like I tell Gary, like just play value. Your brain, for whatever reason, is just not made for frogs. And that's okay. You don't have to be. You're one of the best value players. Be that. Like, be that. But it's very interesting the differences in like the fighting games, but also some of the similarities, like temp checking people and stuff like that. What's good about your game is that you're still getting patches, you're still getting characters, you're still getting like all these adjustments. So you, as one of the best players, one of the things that's going to always be true, you're always going to be one of the best players in Rivals, always, because you have the ability to adapt above everything else, above your technical skill, how fast you can press buttons, how fast you can put in combos and all that bullshit. You can adapt. You clearly have adapted.
I've literally already put in the work with several other characters. So any new characters that are coming into the fold, it only strengthens me.
Yes, you just adapt, and the people who are not as good as you, it takes them longer to do what you can do in like a couple weeks. They're just not going to be able to keep up. So you're going to consist. Every time there's a patch, it benefits people like you. Like it's just going to benefit you, Cake, ZB, like all of those guys who just consistently do well. You guys are going to benefit every time there's a change. The cream rises to the top. It's one of my favorite things about Bandless Day. It's like, oh, there's just an opportunity to possibly win another tournament or top another tournament.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, so we've been talking for a while. We can start to wrap this up. I wanted to say one thing. I know you've been looking for a sponsor for a while. And now more than ever, it's like, okay, it's very clear that you are one of the best players in Rivals of Aether 2. The game is also growing. It almost has 600 people registered for the last event. Had the biggest tournament of its life so far in real life. It's really impressive stuff. So it's growing and growing and growing. And it's still a pretty young game. Like it officially just came out, basically. And so
it's only been a year for its full release.
Right. So you've been looking for a sponsor. And I was wondering, do you even know exactly how the whole sponsor thing works in the fighting game community? Because I'm just curious about this. I don't even know how it really works. Like, I know Spargo's sponsored by FaZe, and like a bunch of other people are sponsored by other things in Smash Ultimate, but like I don't even know what it means to be sponsored in fighting games.
I mean, honestly, when it comes down to it, like I think the biggest things that a sponsor generally provides for like platform fighter players and stuff like that is like travel being covered, hotel, flight, traveling at the event, like, if it's like Ubers and stuff like that from like the hotel to the venue, other things in tandem with that in terms of like, if you're in like a higher tier organization, like a salary, like kind of getting like a monthly salary as well, then doing a lot of things like for content, like being in YouTube videos and promotional things for the organization.
Right. I know Luminosity
being a personality, I think, is also a big thing as well. I think the main thing about me, because I'm such a, and maybe this is Frazier kind of rubbing off on me a little bit. I'm such an aggressively polarizing personality where like, I just kind of say my mind. Yeah. And I don't really have any pause for like what people think. I'm not like OD rude or anything like that. But like,
but you're not putting it on either.
Yeah. Like I'm not like putting it on. It's just genuinely how I think. I'm just like, when I was playing Zetterburn, it's like, I'm the best Zetterburn. And there was discussion of other people like, nope, I'm the best Zetterburn. I just stopped. You guys are ass. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but like, I'm the best Zetterburn. Yeah. So like, I think one of the main things for what sponsors want is that they want a player and a brand that makes things move when they do things. And I'm a big move shaker. People love and hate my polarizing opinions about the game. I get people talking when I'm doing something with the game. Yeah. So like I think that's like one of the biggest things is that like
you need
if you're a
like
clickable person. Yeah, if you need a clickable person, you need a clickable person as a organization.
Listen,
so like
Leffen, say what you want about him, right?
Right. That guy invented the click.
Say what you want about Leffen, okay? He's very polarizing, but one thing about that motherfucker, when he tweets, people go to it, and that getting people to click and engage, basically the word engagement, getting people to engage with everything that you say. Whether they hate you and hate everything that you say and they want you to shut the fuck up, or they love you and they praise you and they're sycophants who just agree with everything that you say, whatever way the coin flips and lands, doesn't matter. Engagement is engagement. And Leffen is able to make the entire Smash, Guilty Gear, whatever community he's currently partaking in, the entire fighting game world, when that motherfucker says something, it becomes the topic of the day. Like, I've seen this man make a tweet and then walk away from Twitter, and everyone is talking about that tweet the entire week. It's like, bro, Leffen says something, and that is all people are talking about now. Now my tweet talks is talking about Leffen's tweet. Now I gotta hear about Leffen's tweet. The whole, like, that's what they're talking about. Like, what do you think about what Leffen said? So it's just like people like that are needed. And I think that there is room for people like us, Stango, who we say what we think without really holding it back, like not being rude just for the sake of being rude. But like, if it comes off, if you take it that way, I tell people I cannot affect how you feel about what I said. Yep. I cannot.
Yeah, I mean, I just I come from a place where I'm just like, okay, if you're gonna try to have this discussion with me, I'm going to be honest in how I feel. Especially like when I talk to ZB. ZB's my buddy. I love him, but he's so ass. And I always remind him that he's ass when he's just like saying ridiculous stuff. He's like, oh, Craig sucks. I'm like, you're terrible. I watch you play. Like the way that you like try to combo, you do everything you do. I'm like, ZB, there's never a pause of like a minute or more where I don't disagree with a choice or option that you made. And like, people like that. People hate it, but it creates engagement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. I love that. I just was wondering about that. But yeah, I always wonder, do you know, like when it comes to sponsorship, so like if they pay for you to get to the event, which makes sense, right? Like what the fuck else are you doing? Because I had a sponsor in Yu-Gi-Oh! He paid for us, Jim, ARG, he would pay for me to go to the event. So there was an event in Seattle. I was like, the Seattle flight is $450. I'm not paying $450 to go to Seattle, Jim. He's like, well, you got to come to the event. So I booked your flight, blah, blah, blah. Pay for the flight. I'm in Seattle now. I have hotel, flight. Yep. But when it comes to the deal, do they get some of your winnings or anything like that?
So generally, like not like real orgs. Some orgs will do that, but like it's not a model that's really profitable, because in platform fighter spaces, like it's not really about being like a winner in terms of like monetarily it supports you, because it's really not like that at all. Like pretty much ever. And that's kind of what the cash grabs of like different, like, you know, remember like Thunder Gaming and stuff like that? Yeah, like that's like the cash grab part of it, where people will be like, oh, like let's just throw thousands and thousands of dollars and we'll get everyone to enter and play. And then it's like a tournament that kind of like flounders and flops, or it's just, you know, not ran by people who really understand the scene. So like real orgs generally do not take a cut of the winnings at all, because that's just a model that's not profitable. They'd rather kind of like work it up as a partnership where like you're a marketable person in a video and content.
Yeah.
Because like YouTube likes, Twitch views.
Yeah.
All of that shit is actual like tangible like profitable things.
Yeah, monetization that way.
Yeah, like that's where the money is. The money is not in fucking taking $500 of your $1,200 that you won in a weekend.
Right, because I think Luminosity does a good job with, like, when they had Tweak, MKLeo, Sonics, and Mars. Let's say, I think it was Mars. They like Luminosity has all of those guys sponsored, and so what they do, like every week, there's videos that come out that are just like, what do the top Smash players think about the Nintendo official tier list? Because Nintendo, for some reason, will make like a Smash Ultimate tier list. And so they all just like, it'll be a funny video of like Tweak being like, well, Mega Man's way too low. And then it'll like quickly go to Sonic. And Sonic will be like, I'm only looking for where Sonic is. Where is he? I'm going straight to the top. And it's like, oh, yep, they got Sonic right. All right, this tier list looks good to me. And it's like, it's funny because that's what Sonic really thinks. He doesn't give a fuck about where Diddy Kong is on the tier list. I don't fucking play that character. I play Sonic. My name is literally Sonic. But like those videos are funny to like watch, and they get tens of thousands of views or whatnot, and obviously those are monetized, and they're like, Luminosity, the channel, is making money from just that. And I guess that is like their deal, is like, you do content, we get paid from it, and then we also make sure that you get to every event, and you also wear our clothes. And that's also a thing that I remember Jim was like, you wear my t-shirt, you know, ARG t-shirt or whatever, which I used to hate. It's so funny, that man used to buy my hotel, my flight, give me sleeves and cards, and he'd be like, all you gotta do is wear this ARG t-shirt. And I'd be like, I fucking hate it here. This t-shirt is so ugly. You want me to wear this piece of shit ARG t-shirt? I don't want to wear my, like, this is me at 22. I'm like, I don't want to fucking wear that. I hate this thing. Get this off me. It's so hideous. I'm in the fashion. I can't be seen in an ARG t-shirt. Like, let the random fans wear that shit. And like, this is literally the only thing he was at. I was so unreasonable. I was so, in hindsight, like looking at it now, I was so unreasonable as a fucking young 20, like, just for no reason. I'd be like, I would just show up not in the t-shirt, and he'd be like, where's your t-shirt? And I'm like, I left it in a hotel room. And he's just like, Frazier, you cannot be fucking serious right now. And I'm like, I left it in a hotel room. And he's just like furious. Like he's just turning red, and like he literally paid for me to be here, and I just couldn't put on the fucking t-shirt. I was ridiculous. But anyway, I apologized later on in life, because I was like, I don't know what was wrong with me. Like I was like an angsty teenager. Like you're a fucking angsty teenager.
Yeah, you was wild.
Okay, well, we're almost at 3 hours. I do want to let everyone get back to their lives. This was a great episode, a great discussion, Stango. Again, congratulations on winning a major, winning the biggest major for Rivals of Aether, and also getting second at the most prestigious major in fighting games at EVO. In 2 weekends, these have been incredible. We were going to do the podcast after EVO, because I was so content and happy with that accomplishment that I was like, that's room enough to come on the podcast. But then
hold on.
Give me a second.
Wait 1 week.
He said, give me a second. Let me work. Let me cook.
I'm still in the kitchen. Bro. Like,
they say never get off the heater when you're hot. Okay? Like, you're running hot. Sheesh. Oh, it's so good. So I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that the house. Also, please update your house accomplishments channel.
That's true. I do got to do that.
Yeah, you have 2 amazing weekends to add to the house accomplishments. So definitely go into the house Discord server. We have a channel called Accomplishments, where everyone has all of their accolades in there. Me, a true hero, Gary, Stango, Kenny, Fiend. Everybody has a bunch of shit that they've done in like games or whatever. And it's like, you know, so update that. And thank you for coming on and having this discussion with us. So Kenny,
I mean, this was great. I knew it was going to be a great episode. It feels awesome to finally get past that hump. Now we just keep doing it.
Yeah. Now you've opened the door. What I was going to say, Kenny, we have, as you can imagine, a large number of people now who have joined the Patreon recently. So there's 83 people right now at the party member higher tier. We do have the 1K this weekend. So, you know, that's happening August 16th, which should be really fun. I hope everybody who wants to play does get to play that tournament. We gave out the prize breakdown. First place is $400, second place is $200, and then it scales from there. So definitely check that out. If you're listening to this and somehow you're not a party member still, what are you doing? You can join any of the party member, main character, optional boss tiers to get access. But we do have an extensive list of people to read out this podcast. So we want to give a shout out to Volvi and the Golden Hyman, Nova Leo, Quest, Xavier, Just Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein, Mr. Fantastic. Hanging with Epstein is crazy. That's like a double entendre too. Henri Reynolds, Ozark is mid. That is Mitchell Nouse. Fuck you. Okay. Hydro Pump, Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, How Much Media You Got, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern, FT Campa, Edison Club, Big Bora, Grok, Sugal, Vicky Venomon, Elijah Barfall, Talentadeo, Volvi the Mega Monarch, Yo ho 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 ho. I am not even Ben Kusuno Sake wo Todoke ni Yuko yo To Icho Utao no Uta. That must be some Brook shit. I don't even know what that was. Don't know what that is. Janitor 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Brian Moore. Boyd hacked this. Also, get Frazier some Greffer pants. Gingerilla, darling, hold my hand. Darling, hold my hand.
Darling, nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save up to £240 for a family of 4. Don't miss out. Book now with Jet2 Holidays.
I know the audio is scuffed for that, but, just accept it. Tim Bailey, Ryder Dies, Taco Bell, which is still crazy. Majin Labubu, B-Dog23, Hershey Bar, Impoister, Tyler Fresher, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson. Daroa.
He's going all the way.
Did I pass your part?
Yeah, Tim Bailey's me.
Oh, okay, my bad. Look, this is... Yo, it's all... Bro, it's all out of order now because there's so many fucking people. All right, do your thing, King.
All right. Well, I don't know where you left off, so I'm gonna go Impoister, Tyler Frasher, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Daroa. Ass to Mattress sleeping is goated.
Ass to Mattress is crazy. Ass to Mattress is so crazy.
You need to be put down. Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Clanger, Fantin, Andrea, John Doe, Kusang, Tenzing, HT19, Gregory Calmaring, Olymp Biscuit Jigsaw, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Frago, Anthony Japov, Michael Zhang, Tim Pontes, Tyler, Chris Louie, Addison McGee, Luis Juarez, The Hopeless One, Nicholas Cook, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, GTL, Cave, Raj, Chris Kemp, Dustin Wallace, James McGregor Thu, Michael Gray, Flax Mail, Trace Crominga, John K, Cameron, Dark Void TG, Pearson Boyer, Ori Leok, Sampusteno, Daniel Brando, and Juan Sebastian Brezenda.
So again, thank you guys so much. There's been a huge influx of people, obviously, because a lot of people are playing in the 1K, and I'm happy for all of you. Instructions will follow on how you're going to be registering for that tournament, but basically, just wait until Friday, and I'll explain everything, and then we'll do that process. I'm going to close registration an hour before the tournament because we will need to make sure that obviously only the people who should be playing in the tournament are actually playing in the tournament. And It's going to take time because registration is going to be manual. We're not going to be using Retrobot for this tournament. So it's going to be creating a challenge bracket and putting in the people, one by one. So just, be ready for that. Have your decks ready and all that good stuff. And it should be a good time. Win some money. I'm happy that the entire top 8 will be getting paid. And I think it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be basically the size of an invitational, probably 60 people or something like that. If we get more, great. If not, also great. We're doing this literally because me and Kenny just one day decided, you know what? Let's give away $1,000 to the people who support the podcast the most. So we appreciate all of you. And with that being said, as I always say, guys, do the things that make you happy, including celebrating your friends when they have great accomplishments, like Stango winning in Rivals of Aether 2, and just in general.
Yes, sir.
And we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.